Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is story about what if Naruto had the taste of the hard life as a young boy up to a point that he got thrown out of Konoha. Part 1. Before I start, please do support for more amazing content and comments for part 2. Do consider to subscribe my channel and share my video to your friends and check out the description as well. Let's start the video. The sun rays tinted the sky with the color orange. Stores were closing down, people were going home, and errands were being finished. However, for a blonde-haired child, the day was far from over. Naruto Uzumaki, hungry and beaten, at a tender age of 5, was being dragged into the woods by a group of adult men. His consciousness was already dwindling. The 5 men quickly took this opportunity to ultimately get rid of him. All the pent-up anger, hurt, misery, and fear. The villagers have always treated him with contempt. The men took out their negative feelings on a child. Bloody, broken and hated, Naruto gave himself up to the physical beatings of the men. All the while silently hoping that their thirst for violence would stop soon. But sadly, it didn't. These men were fueled with negativity, a negativity that Naruto dreamt to overcome. And Naruto fell unconscious. They quickly picked him up and hastily threw Naruto outside of the village. One of the men spat on Naruto, he grinned and looked at the unmoving body. Kyuubi brat deserves this. Cheers were given to each other, it was as if they actually thought they have finally disposed Naruto. But more importantly, they thought they finally got rid of the Kyuubi. But they were wrong. Where shall this take you, Naruto? 4 figures walked down the road. Their faces covered by the shadow of their straw hats. Their bodies hidden beneath their black cloaks. It was said, when you encounter such shady figures on the road, it would be better to avoid confrontation or might as well detour from their path. They weren't members of any particular group. But that did not mean that they should not be feared of. There were no symbols on their cloak, but merely a difference in the color of the cloak's lining. Sasori's color was brown, Itachi's color was red, Deidara's color was white, and Kisam's color was blue. They were classified as S-class missing ninjas by the bounty book. Gentle wind passed and the bell attached to Itachi's straw hat chimed. These 4 weren't to be taken lightly. Kisame? Itachi said while pointing at a distance, a figure was lying on the ground. Kisame nodded and quickly flickered to the distance. Itachi-san, the kid's alive. The 3 others flickered into view, towering over the small seemingly lifeless body lying on the ground. Oh, it's the Kyuubi's Jinchuriki. Sasori whispered under his breath. His eyes trailed over the boy's body, as if he could see how the Kyuubi was being held in by a seal. Yes. It's Naruto Uzumaki, the Kyuubi's Jinchuriki. Itachi stepped up and flipped over Naruto. He held Naruto's wrist and then checked for a pulse. He's still alive. Well, what should we do? Deidara asked as his interest peaked. He is a Jinchuriki. That means he's special. We can bring the brat with us. He's worth something. Kisame looked at Naruto's body like a predator ready to devour his prey. The boy will be of no worth, but what he contains is valuable. Sasori pointed out, seemingly uninterested by the situation. Kisame grunted at Sasori's remark. Sasori has always been so passive towards things that does not hold his interest. Or at the very least, he would be interested if only it were advantageous. What are you suggesting, Sasori Dana? Deidara looked at Sasori but wasn't given a reply. No matter where they belong, Jinchuriki are treated badly by their lands. Itachi said. Naruto here is an example of how they are treated. I think it would be better if we let Naruto come with us. Itachi stood up and looked at the other 3 for a response. The child might be in even greater danger if he is with us. Sasori pointed out. Itachi looked at Sasori with shock. Deidara and Kisame's jaw dropped. What did they just hear? Was that a hint of concern coming from Sasori? Did Sasori really have feelings? Does Sasori care? Naruto will be in constant danger if he will stay with us. Not only that, but he might actually lure in more danger. I do not want attention drawn upon us. Sasori had quickly added to his last statement, as if to cover up his concern towards Naruto's well-being. I understand that you don't want to be burdened by Naruto, nor would you want him to be a target when he is with us. But if we let him stay here, someone else might get their hands on him. If not, next time the villagers might actually kill him. We don't really know for sure of what might happen. If we do bring Naruto with us, at least we'll know how to handle things better than to leave him to the contempt of the villagers. Itachi stated. Wind blew and his bell chimed again. All of them stood there like statues, they knew what they would do. Yay, I agree with Itachi. Besides, we can teach the brat a few techniques. Siding with Itachi's case. Kisame went over to Itachi's side. TCH. This is going to be a drag, but if the kid really is the Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi, then he should be able to keep up with us. Teach him techniques well, then I guess I would want Naruto-kun to be with us. Deidara was definitely interested on this plan. His smile was sly and his eyes were wide. Let's do this. Deidara rubbed his palms together and laughed with a matching evil glint in his eyes. Oh no, don't say it. The true art of explosions. The art of explosions, my ass. TCH, Naruto will stick with me and learn Kenjutsu. Kisame bluffed so hard that it made Sasori chuckle. Deidara angrily glared at Kisame and threw a rock at his direction. And what is he going to get with learning how to wave a sword? Puppetry is a form more useful to learn than what both of you have to offer. Sasori mocked the other two, which of course earned heated glares from both Deidara and Kisame. What did you say? Wave a sword, Kisame angrily mocked Sasori. Sasori Dana, Deidara shouted, feeling quite belittled by Sasori. If Sasori wants to teach Naruto, then I want to teach Naruto-kun as well. Itachi won't be the one to step down. He also wanted to teach Naruto a thing or two. And he also knew that the other three won't bother teaching the child the basics. Naruto has to learn the basics. Itachi was pretty confident with teaching, as he did help train his younger brother a thing or two in the recent past. I say we all teach him something. That'll make everything fair. Kisame grunted out proudly, still not wanting to back off. Okay, fine. Deidara, Sasori and Kisame nodded in agreement. Itachi let out a small smile, they have reached a decision. But first, we should let him rest. Kyuubi will help Naruto heal from all these. Itachi bent over and picked Naruto up. Kyuubi will? Deidara asked with disbelief. Heh, the Kyuubi won't just let his holder die from getting beaten up. Right, Itachi. Itachi nodded in agreement to Kisame's statement. Let's head to Suna. Sasori flickered out of sight as well as the other three did. The four then began their travel towards Suna. Naruto was still fast asleep recovering from his injuries. He was still being carried by Itachi. Sasori had offered to carry Naruto earlier using one of his puppets, but Itachi found it important to keep the boy near his person because of imminent danger. The four had to make sure that they wouldn't give away their location and their chakra signatures. Itachi knew that the Hokage would have dispatched Anbu teams to search for Naruto by now. Sandaime wouldn't just let Naruto out of the village and into strangers' hands. The Kyuubi is a valuable asset to Konoha. Even with how Naruto is treated, he should be kept under the protection of the Sandaime and Konoha's ninjas. They could catch up with us soon. Sandaime won't just let Naruto get away like this. Itachi, I sense no chakra signatures around us. Kisame looked at Itachi with a hint of concern. I do not sense chakra signatures as well. Sasori stated and Itachi's eyes widened. This is not usual. There must be something to this. Maybe they just really didn't notice that Naruto's gone. Deidara injected to the conversation. But that would be odd for Sandaime to do that. Unless he has plans. Let's keep moving. Stay hidden. Itachi said before the four of them flickered and vanished out of sight. Naruto tossed in Itachi's arms. He looked better now. His bruises were gone and his face looked peaceful. Kyuubi must be nearly complete on trying to help Naruto's body recuperate. Itachi adjusted how he held Naruto and held onto the boy a little bit tighter. Naruto is going to wake soon. Kisame and Deidara gave out sly smiles when they heard that. Well, isn't that good news? Brats had enough sleep, tch. We might still be trailed by Konoha teams. It is dangerous to stop here. Sasori pointed out. Not if we make ourselves disappear. Itachi remarked. I feel light. Like I'm floating on air. Am I dead? In the safety of Itachi's genjutsu, the four stopped in their tracks. It's time to wake Naruto up. The child will be shocked with what's in store for him. I mean, you don't just end up in the hands of 4S rank missing nin on a normal day. Naruto, wake up. Naruto. Itachi gently shook the boy to wake him up. Naruto tossed in Itachi's arms and gently fell on the ground. His bright blue eyes opened. Naruto looked at his hands and hastily stood up. His eyes widened. Who are you? Where am I? What happened? Naruto pointed a shaking finger at Itachi. His voice was shaking with fear. He had realized that he wasn't in Konoha anymore and worse, these men took him. Oi, calm down, brat. Kisame somehow tried to comfort the fearful child. Itachi looked at Kisame as if to tell him to be more nice with his words. Deidara crouched down to seem less intimidating. Hello, Naruto-kun. We've been waiting for you to wake up. Do you feel okay? Deidara asked in a tender voice. Kisame looked at Deidara in disbelief. What is this? Deidara is sounding like a mother. I'm alright. I'm Naruto Uzumaki. Nothing is going to stop me. Naruto puffed out in defense. Deidara smiled at the active response that he got while Kisame chuckled at the brat. Naruto-kun, we found you outside the village. We couldn't just leave you there so we decided to take you. Itachi stated, staring right into Naruto's blue orbs. Naruto got chills when he stared right back into Itachi's eyes. You're safe with us, no Itachi-san. Deidara smiled as he got a nod from Itachi. Deidara stood back up and gave Naruto a grin. Naruto seemed to be in disbelief. This was confusing. Well, this is a sharp turn of events anyways. Do you want to come with us, Naruto-kun? Itachi asked. Naruto looked at Itachi with a sharp glare and tight lips. His bright blue eyes seemed to be raging with fire. Kisame gave out a sly grin, and Deidara couldn't help but chuckle at Naruto's facial expression. Child, come with us. And we will help you reach your goals. For the first time, Sasori spoke up. Or would you rather go back to a village that doesn't like your existence? He added. The heavy words that Sasori just said hit all of them in the conversation. This was to be expected of Sasori, he wasn't the type to beat around the bush. Naruto covered his ears and shut his eyes tight. Sasori Dana, I am Uzumaki Naruto. And you think I care what they have to say when I become Hokage? Those villagers will definitely notice me. Naruto shouted at the four. His mouth was in a growl and his tiny hands in fists. Naruto's body was visibly shaking, but his stance was strong and proud. Itachi smiled. Naruto, I'm Uchiha Itachi. Itachi looked at Naruto with tender eyes and gave the child a smile. Deidara and Kisame seemed shocked at Itachi's change of tone. I'm Sasori. Sasori looked at Naruto and quickly looked away. You better not call me other names. I'm Kisame. Kisame gave Naruto a sly grin. Naruto seemed to lighten up as Kisame introduced himself. Deidara gave Naruto a light pat on the head. Naruto-kun, I'm Deidara. Nice to meet you. Deidara ruffled up Naruto's hair and gave him a toothy grin. Naruto looked at the four with wide eyes. So I guess you'll be tagging along now? Kisame asked Naruto, who gave an encouraging nod of the head. I'm Uzumaki Naruto and I want to become Hokage. Naruto stated, with a big grin on his face and a fist pumped in the air. The four seemed happy by the response that they got. Naruto was going to go with them, voluntarily. And most importantly, they'll be able to keep Naruto for the meantime. Let's get going. Sasori told them to prepare for the travel again. Naruto-kun, I can carry you on my back. Deidara motioned Naruto to hop on his back. Naruto gasped in unfamiliarity. A piggyback ride. That's new. He shook his head and turned down the offer. No. I don't like being carried around. Naruto exclaimed. I can walk fine on my own. He bragged and puffed his chest out. All the while walking to the wrong direction. Boy, brat. We're leaving you. Kisame said with a hearty laugh. Naruto panicked and quickly adjusted. We got a good kid, Itachi-san. Deidara said to Itachi, who nodded in response. Itachi removed the Jinjutsu that was placed on the surrounding area. This was going to be the start of a new journey for all of them. After the first hours of travel, Naruto seemed to slow down. At the very least, he did keep up with the S-rank missing mins. That itself is a feat for a 5-year-old child. Deidara ended up carrying him. They were almost approaching the borders of Suna, where they would restock and stay for a while. They also needed to somehow provide Naruto with his necessities and also start with his training. Right now, Naruto was exposed. His person is exposed to any possible threat. Kisame and Sasori has to stay alert with any possible chakra signatures in the area. Deidara on the other hand was busy preparing bombs just in case something happens. Meanwhile, Itachi had to maintain a Jinjutsu around Naruto. He had to find a way to keep the boy under cover. All of them was starting to get tired. Naruto looked hungry already. Itachi, let's set up camp. Sasori suggested as Kisame and Deidara sighed in relief. It was either Itachi versus Sasori who had the control over when to camp or not. Of course, Kisame and Deidara has partial power, but they always bicker while traveling, that's why it's only Itachi or Sasori who has the right to decide. Itachi saw that Naruto needed rest, so he agreed. Are you tired, brat? Kisame teased. Naruto HMPF'd and just didn't look at Kisame. I'm hungry not tired. There is a difference. Naruto reasoned out. His stomach growled and his face quite sad. Ha! Kisame got told off. Deidara pointed out, teasing Kisame of what Naruto had just said. Deidara, your voice. Sasori reprimanded in a strict tone. Kisame then proceeded to tease Deidara back by making faces. Naruto was confused as what was happening. Naruto-kun, remember to keep low and don't talk in a loud voice. We have to remain hidden, okay? Itachi explained as he saw the boy's confusion. Naruto nodded, he was with strangers after all. He has to somewhat follow their rules. Sasori Dana is strict. But it is what keeps us safe. Also, Itachi-sen always looks out for the group. Naruto-kun. Deidara pointed out to Naruto who just nodded in agreement. You're still a weak brat. That's why you should always follow what we say. We do not want any more fuss because of you. Kisame grunted. Kisame? Sasori said, catching the attention of the swordsman. Kisame bit down his tongue and looked away. Naruto, you should understand that we are not your ordinary travelers. We have committed crimes to these lands. We abandoned our villages. There are people who want to arrest us or kill us. Any unwanted attention directed to our group will create unnecessary situations for all of us. Sasori added. Naruto tilted his head to the side, confused by what Sasori meant. Simply put, Naruto-kun, we are bad ninjas who are hiding. People are chasing us to put us away. Do you understand? What? Naruto's eyes widened in disbelief. He was going with the bad guys. But, how can that be? They did help him out, they must be good somehow. I am from Iwagakure, Sasori Dana is from Sunagakure, Kisame is from Kurigakure, and Itachi-san is from Konohagakure. We left our villages in hopes to find a better life. Itachi Niacin is from Konoha. Awesome. Naruto looked at Itachi with sparkles in his eyes. Not only is he from Konoha. He was an Anbu. You know those ninjas who are so cool that they get secret missions. Awesome Naruto, huh? Kisame teased Itachi's reputation more to Naruto. Naruto just stared at amazement to Itachi more. Itachi's sweat dropped at the sight, gaining a hearty laugh from Kisame. Secret missions. I want to be that awesome too. Like go undercover. Save people. And most importantly, I want to be known. That's gonna be so cool. Naruto giggled to himself and his imagination, earning the sweat drop of all four. Oi, I don't think he gets the point. Kisame pointed out. Deidara laughed. That because of a secret mission, Itachi became a missing nin. Sasori stated. Luckily, Naruto was still stuck in his own bubble of excitement. Well, at least Naruto is excited. Look at him, he's dreaming. Deidara pointed out to Naruto who was jumping up and down talking to himself and his imaginary ninja dreams. The older ones couldn't help but feel warm by looking at the sight. I know you will become great someday, Naruto-kun. Itachi smiled. DCH. Oi, brat. Let's go set up camp. Kisame motioned Naruto to come to his side and help move things around. Naruto's bubble burst and he snapped out of his imaginary secret missions. He gave a big toothy smile to Kisame and rubbed the back of his head sheepishly. He quickly went to Kisame's side and helped set up camp. The five of them made their camp for the night. They gathered wood and put up a campfire. Food was being prepared by Itachi with Kisame's help. The sun had set and the orange tint was gone from the skies. Sasori and Deidara were setting up the standard operating procedure area traps for the camp to be secured. A bit of itsy-bitsy spider bombs here and there, with matching traps made and laid out by Sasori. Naruto was just lying down, looking up at the night sky and the stars. Things are happening and well, Naruto just went with what has happened. But he couldn't help but think about the third Hokage. Sandaime will not be pleased about his disappearance. Naruto was wondering why no search team was sent out. Was he really that despicable? Maybe they didn't notice. Naruto mumbled out in frustration. Naruto sat up and looked away. What was that brat? Kisame asked. Naruto shook his head and didn't say anything. Who did not notice what? Sasori asked, as if doubting that Naruto had something against them. Hokage. Naruto irritatingly mumbled out in embarrassment. He stood up and looked at his feet. It was weird because Naruto always craved for the attention of others. Now that he was out of the village, he had no one to bother and no one to prank. Maybe the village will even sleep better tonight with him gone. Aha! The Hokage didn't notice that you're gone. Kisame pointed at Naruto as if to say I got what you were trying to say. Naruto's sweat dropped. Well, we did hide our chakra signals and cover our trails. Deidara pointed out. Not to mention that Itachi had to cover you up with a genjutsu so you would appear invisible. Kisame added to Deidara's statement. As we said Naruto-kun. There is danger around us. I had to cover you so you wouldn't attract unnecessary attention. Itachi reasoned out seeing that Naruto was already starting to doubt them again. Are you sure that's your reason why? Naruto offensively asked Itachi. He was starting to doubt them. Naruto has always been low on trust, especially since people always tried to find their way with him. Boy, brat. Kisame seemed pissed at Naruto's tone of voice. You don't just go around accusing somebody like that. It's alright, Kisame. Naruto's allowed to be doubtful. We should have explained it to him earlier. Itachi calmly stated to Naruto. Naruto-kun, believe in us. Okay. Deidara said. This caught Naruto's attention. Here's a bunch of powerful missing nins who were being kind to a kid like him. They were the first ones to actually be concerned about them being cared by the Sandaime. Naruto had not experienced this much social activity since he knew how to talk. I'm sorry. Naruto said with his head hung low and tears dripping from his eyes. His body shook as he tried not to let out his emotions. The four was stunned at Naruto's emotional display, but he is still just a child. A tender age of 5. The fact that Naruto let his walls down and that he is crying in front of them touched their hearts a little bit more. I'm sorry I didn't mean to sound mean. It's just hard to trust people, okay? Naruto wiped away his tears and his head still hung low. Everybody just keeps on being mean to me. People say bad things, people lie and people hurt me. I just wish Jiji-san noticed I was gone. Maybe, somehow, they felt that I'm gone. Naruto said. His hands were in tight fists and his body all tensed up. It is hard being alone. Harder because I know they hate me. But I want to show them that I am not a monster. That I can be more than what they call me. Sorry, Itachi Niacin. Naruto said again, his head bowing down to the direction of Itachi. It hurts when people call you names, huh? I've been there as well, Naruto-kun. Deidara said. Naruto's face whipped to Deidara's direction. His eyes wide in shock. When I started with my bombs and they saw these mouths on the palms of my hands, it disgusted them. I was considered different and being different in a village, you get nothing. You feel like nothing. Deidara stared at one of his palms. Naruto understood. That was what he felt like in Konoha. The constant glares and constant bullying from the children. Sometimes Naruto liked the bullying, since it got him attention. But the worst moments were those times where he walked around the village and nobody really noticed him. It was as if his existence was invisible. There was no genjutsu. He was simply non-existent. "Brat, you don't let those villagers get to you," Kisame said, sitting right next to Naruto. "If you let them get to you, then you won't be able to be better than them. And since you want to be Hokage, you really have to show them how wrong they are about you." Naruto felt supported, and this was his first time getting encouragement from another person. "Naruto-kun, we have something really important to tell you." Itachi opened up. Deidara and Kisame looked at Itachi in shock. Was this going to be about the Kyuubi? Most likely. "Naruto-kun, this will be a lot to take in. Have you ever wondered why you have a seal on your tummy?" Itachi asked, and this piqued Naruto's curiosity. The blonde-haired child nodded his head. "You see, Naruto-kun, in the history of Konoha, there was a very devastating attack on our village 5 years ago. It was on the year that you were born. It was also known as the Kyuubi attack," Itachi said. "The area was quiet and the wind howled that made chills run down your spine." Naruto looked at Itachi with his full attention. He needed to know about this. Now, every ninja that was available that night had to do their best to hold back the Kyuubi. If not, they were helping the villagers to safety. The fourth Hokage that time was late and nobody knew where he was. But it was said that, on that same night, the wife of the Hokage had given birth to their son. With the Kyuubi attacking the village, Yondaime had his child named Naruto. Naruto's blue eyes widened in shock, disbelief and surprise. Sasori looked at Naruto and saw how great of a deal this would be to him. The Yondaime kissed his wife one last time and took the newborn child. Onto the battlefield he went, carrying his beloved son with him. The Yondaime summoned Gamabunta-sama and went to his final battle. Finishing his own life, the Yondaime sealed the Kyuubi into his own son. He believed that his son would be regarded as a hero of Konoha. This is what the Sandaime enforced on the ninjas, but they refused to believe it. Instead, rumor had spread that the child is the Kyuubi instead. Worried about the danger the truth had, the Sandaime passed on a policy that prohibited the adults from talking about the Kyuubi's Jinchuriki. "I know this because I was there," Itachi explained. Naruto had tears streaming down his eyes and his hand gripped onto his belly so tight. "Why, you're making this up?" Naruto stood up and angrily shouted at Itachi. He turned around to run away but was stopped by two hands that held his shoulders. It was Sasori. "It is the truth, Naruto. We do not want to lie to you. Not like what they did, we want you to know who you really are. Naruto, you are not the Kyuubi, but you are his holder," Sasori sternly stated to Naruto. His eyes looked straight to the hurt blue orbs. Naruto had angry tears running down his cheeks. "We want you to be able to face the truth and we will help you with facing the truth," Sasori emphasized, squeezing the boy's shoulder for security. Mixed with emotions, Naruto cried out loud and hugged Sasori hard. Sasori was taken back. He is, after all, not used to being touchy-feely. But this he understood, this type of pain he had understood. And so, he hugged the crying boy. The other three just looked at them up until Naruto stopped crying and fell asleep. "Now that the kid knows, we better start planning on how we are going to get through this," Kisame remarked as he looked to Itachi and the other two. With a serious face, Deidara nodded his head in agreement. Itachi let out a sigh, this was going to be yet another complicated journey. "But first we rest, just as Naruto is." Dawn broke and the sun scattered its rays up to the sky. The group had continued on with their journey, this time around Naruto was silent on their whole trip. Deidara looked worried at the child and kept on glancing at the other three. Itachi seemed to have noticed, but from what had happened last night, Deidara saw Itachi distance himself from Naruto for the meantime. Sasori was walking straight behind Naruto, as if strictly guarding the child's life to any probable threat. Kisame was getting irritated by the worried glances that Deidara was making. He told Deidara to back off and give Naruto some space to think. After all, last night was a really huge deal for Naruto. After a couple of hours, they finally made it to Suna. Tired and hungry, they first found a suitable place to lodge. All 5 of them washed up and rested for a while. Deidara and Naruto went downstairs and had to eat because Naruto was famished. Naruto ate meal after meal, and that was when Deidara realized they better get more tasks to complete. Naruto will be the reason why the group will go broke. He had the appetite of Kyuubi. "Naruto-kun, let's go buy you some new clothes before you eat up our budget." Deidara's sweat dropped as Naruto continued on chomping down his meals. Bloated with food, Naruto sighed in satisfaction. Yep, they definitely needed to get more jobs done and earn more. "Now, don't pick something too flashy. We want to keep it nice and simple, okay?" Deidara said with a smile. Naruto wandered in the store, looking at the different clothes available. "I want this," Naruto exclaimed as he waved a neon orange shirt to Deidara. Deidara's sweat dropped. Naruto-kun, that's too bright of a color. We're going to get attention with that. Deidara explained as Naruto tried on the shirt. Naruto smiled as he wore his plain orange shirt. Why are his shirts neon orange? Kisame erupted at Deidara. He was looking into a shopping bag full of orange clothes. Not a single clothing was spared. Sasori swiftly slapped the back of Deidara's head. Naruto, on the other hand, grinned as he was clothed in a plain orange shirt and a pair of orange shorts. He did wear black ninja sandals though. Well, at least his sandals aren't freaking orange. Kami, my eyes hurt. Kisame hissed out as he looked away the shopping bag and threw it to Deidara's direction. I better be the one to buy the kid's equipment. I wouldn't want his kunai and shuriken holder to be orange as well. Deidara. Itachi said. Yes, Itachi-san. Deidara's voice quivered in fear for the anger of Itachi. Itachi turned to his direction and evilly smiled at the older blonde. You had one thing to do. Now, you will make sure that Naruto doesn't get into unnecessary danger because of his clothes' attention-seeking color. Venom dripped out of Itachi's words, and Deidara hastily nodded his head in fear of getting punished by Itachi. Good. Itachi said as he shot a look at Naruto and another look to Deidara. Why couldn't he have gotten black clothes and smiled so adorably? Deidara fell to the floor and cried his eyes out, while Naruto just grinned and rubbed the back of his head. Sorry, Deidara-san. Naruto sheepishly said. It's alright. Don't worry, Naruto-kun. Your training shall start soon. I'll make sure to train you hard. Deidara looked at Naruto with an evil glint of revenge in his eyes. Deep down inside, Deidara was laughing evilly as he planned how to drive Naruto insane with his training regimen. It was the day after they had settled in Suna, the four had devised a systematic way of training Naruto over the course of years. The plan is to train him until he reaches the age of 13. That's just about the age of a fresh genin. First of all, Taijutsu and Kenjutsu were to be taught mostly by Itachi and Kisame. With Itachi more on the Taijutsu and Kisame on the Kenjutsu. During the first 2 years, Deidara and Sasori would focus more on getting jobs done in order to sustain the group's cost of living. After that, the next 2 years would then be focusing on ninjutsu and jinjutsu. The 2 years will be cut into 6 months, so there would be a period of 6 months given to each of them. One of them would be the main mentor for a fixed 6 months, while the 3 others would just be on the sides or would get jobs. Since there were 4 of them, it was pretty much fixed that each one of them would be given a 6-month period of training with Naruto. Going to the next 2 years, these would be given to Deidara and Sasori, who were to teach Naruto the art of explosions and the art of puppetry as the two demanded. That left the group with 2 extra years to be able to teach Naruto more of whatever they decided to focus on. First and second year Taijutsu and Kenjutsu. Taijutsu is a very important form to a ninja's life. This requires no usage of chakra. However, it can be infused with chakra according to your liking. I shall teach you the basics Naruto and to what I can pass on to you in your Taijutsu training. Kisame shall also help you learn how to combat in Taijutsu. It is important to practice. Nothing is earned through shortcuts. Itachi explained. Naruto was looking at him, blinking fast in confusion. What he wants to say Brad is that Taijutsu involves punching and kicking. Got that? Kisame mocked Itachi's serious lecture tone. Naruto nodded and gave out air punches. Itachi's sweat dropped, maybe he should explain things in Naruto's level of vocabulary. First things first, warm-ups are important. Now get moving and run till you get tired. Kisame shouted at Naruto who was shocked by the sudden command that he hastily ran without asking where to go. Kisame, don't you think that this is going to take long? He is the Kyuubi's Jinchuriki after all. Naruto has high endurance. Itachi said in a dead flat tone, while Kisame's sweat dropped at what he did. You're right. Kisame said. Ah well, let's make Kyuubi endure as well. Naruto wants to become Hokage after all. Kisame ended with a booming hearty laughter. We're just getting started. Kisame-sensei. I'm done warming up. Naruto said as he punched the log one last time. Kisame looked at Naruto's direction and couldn't help but feel sorry for the log. Well, it has been a year since they started with Naruto's Taijutsu training. Kisame couldn't help but notice that Naruto looked a bit taller. Okay, come here. Itachi won't be joining us today. He's out with the other two. He also told me that you should keep up with your morning training routine while we start learning Kenjutsu. Kisame smirked as Naruto jumped up and down with a fist pumping in the air. I'll be teaching you Kenjutsu. You better be ready. Catch. Kisame exclaimed as he threw a wooden sword to Naruto. Naruto, who was busy celebrating, clumsily caught the sword. The wooden sword. Naruto scratched the back of his head. Why not a real one? Naruto's eyes squinted in irritation. Because a real one can kill. Naruto shrieked as he felt cold chills run down his spine. Kisame had crept behind him in such a swift manner. You weren't worthy of seeing Samehada yet. Kisame teased Naruto's level of skill. Of course, I haven't taught you anything. But remember this brat, I dare you to be as skilled as I am in wielding the sword. Only then might I show you the true form of Samehada. Kisame dared Naruto on as he pointed the wrapped-up Samehada at Naruto. Naruto angrily puffed out his chest and clutched the handles of his wooden sword. "Teach me, Kisame-sensei," Naruto exclaimed. And so he started to learn swordsmanship. 3rd and 4th year ninjutsu and jinjutsu. "Now, I know you are excited for this, Naruto." Itachi smiled at Naruto's excitement. "This time we are going to teach you ninjutsu and jinjutsu." Naruto howled in celebration. He jumped up and down, danced around Goofy and threw air punches. This was the year Naruto waited for. The year he always kept on describing as the real ninja stuff, which of course got him slaps at the back of the head from Kisame. Oi, calm down will you?" Kisame remarked. Naruto stopped celebrating and quickly behaved himself. He embarrassingly stared at his feet. "I can't help it. This is the cool stuff that I've been looking forward to." Naruto grinned. Deidara laughed at how Naruto can be such a typical kid sometimes. Well, it has been 2 years. Naruto has grown a bit taller and leaner compared to when he was as a chubby 5-year-old. He's still hyperactive, that's one thing that hasn't changed. But now, he's more disciplined and focused. The first 2 years was such a challenge for the 4 of them. Naruto has high endurance. That's why during Taijutsu training Naruto took quite some time to burn out. Well, compared to a normal 5-year-old, Naruto can pretty much swing a punch quite well. Kinjutsu training definitely got Naruto on the rocks. Kisame drove the child like a slave. He was serious when it came to teaching Naruto the worth of a sword and the art of swordsmanship. There was no place for mercy during that year, and that drilled in the discipline into Naruto. "You must learn to meditate," Sasori commented, looking at the other 3 who nodded in agreement. "Meditate," Naruto scornfully cried out. "But why?" Naruto pouted as he looked at Sasori. "Because you are the holder of the Kyuubi. You have immense chakra reserves, Naruto. A reserve that you have to access. Not only that, but you are noisy," Sasori explained in a flat dead tone manner. Leave it to Sasori to frankly point out things. Naruto sighed and prepared himself for meditation. "Once you get over your meditation, the first thing that we will do will be tree climbing exercises." Naruto couldn't be any more disappointed by the sudden turn of events. From his dreams of learning nature transformations down to having to meditate. Well, it is just the beginning. 5th and 6th year art of explosions and puppetry. The art of puppetry has been passed down generation after generation in Suna. I was taught the same techniques and art that has been passed down several generations. However, I wanted more than just the traditional puppetry. That is why I had to explore and experiment. Ultimately, I became my own puppet. Sasori said as he looked at his arms. "This art is not of your land, but I want you to learn this beauty. This beauty that is everlasting. Now, you will realize how important it is to master the control of your chakra." Sasori remarked as Naruto nodded in agreement. He's grown now and become more serious in his training. Naruto made so much progress in a year of training. He learned ninjutsu under all of them. But Itachi had a particular standard in training. Well, let's just say Naruto is inclined to ninjutsu after all, pointing out the fact that he does contain a great deal of chakra compared to a normal ninja's chakra capacity. That and Naruto seemed to be more in the training compared with his Taijutsu and Kinjutsu days. But that also didn't mean that Naruto did very well in Jinjutsu. For how brilliant he is in ninjutsu, it was equalized by how much he sucked at handling and practicing Jinjutsu. First and foremost, we will focus on your chakra threads. I highly doubt you will manage making and controlling your chakra to make threads. Your immense chakra reserves will make it difficult for you. Sasori challenged Naruto. Naruto has always loved challenges given to him, it made him strive harder. Difficult? I'll show you, Sasori-sensei. Naruto said with a sly smile on his face. Sasori chuckled, now that's Naruto for you. Wait, what am I supposed to do again? Naruto sheepishly asked as he rubbed the back of his head. Sasori's sweat dropped, yep, that's Naruto for you, alright. Art is a blast. A fleeting beauty gone within seconds. Deidara preached to Naruto, who seemed to be creeped out from Deidara's passionate desire for bombs. Thus, I create art. And now, I'm going to teach you how to create these beauties, Naruto. I have a question. Naruto firmly raised his hand up. Deidara was surprised. What is it, Naruto-kun? Is there a way for me to make art without having to have those mouths? Naruto frankly asked Deidara the question in a flat tone which made Deidara's sweat drop. Oi, at least make it sound like it's a little bit awesome to have these mouths on your palms. Deidara remarked to Naruto's question. Well. Naruto-kun, we have a problem here. I do not think there is a better way for you to infuse your chakra into the clay without the use of these mouths. Deidara replied. They infuse the chakra into the clay better and mold the clay to how you want your bomb to be. Deidara explained as he looked at the mouths that he has, the tongues twirling around. You said better, right? Can we learn how to make explosive in the traditional manner first before I decide to grace my hands with those mouths? Surprisingly, Naruto seemed to have caught Itachi's manner of speaking. This not only ticked of Deidara but at the same time creeped out Kisame and Itachi themselves. Boy brat. Quit that gibberish and say it like a brat would. Kisame exclaimed, earning him a good punch at the back of his head. What gibberish are you speaking of? Itachi angrily questioned. Naruto's sweat dropped in the distance. Naruto-kun, here's explosive clay. Deidara happily exclaimed, grabbing Naruto's hand and putting a lump of clay on it. Let's begin, shall we? 7th and 8th year. If it had not been because of an important message, Itachi would have never bothered meeting one of the Sannin. He had to be cautious, this was no ordinary meeting, and this was no ordinary man. Itachi zipped up his cloak and put on his straw hat. Before going out, he had to make sure Naruto was well guarded and uninformed of such an event was happening. Unlike when Naruto was still a 5-year-old, Naruto was now even harder to contain, let alone fool. Here's a letter from the third. Jiraiya said as he sipped his sake, a folded piece of paper on the countertop. Itachi reached out and touched the letter. He expects a reply. Jiraiya said, eyeing the hand of Itachi that was resting on the letter. And I expect to see the kid tomorrow. He added. Itachi withdrew his hand on the letter. Why? Itachi asked. His bell chimed by the cold night wind. He is my godson, after all. Jiraiya plainly replied as he refilled his sake cup. The Sannin looked down on his cup and there he saw the face of the yondaime. With a swift sip, Jiraiya banged the empty sake cup on the countertop. The boy shall decide on his own. After all, he is our leader. Itachi stated. Jiraiya's eyes grew wide. Were the rumors true? Jiraiya shook his head. He will not believe it till he sees it. The child is still too young for all that anyways. The next day came. There he was, long spiky white hair tied up in a ponytail. He smelled like sake and liked to peep on girls. This definitely got on Naruto's nerves. Why was a legendary ninja like him so unrespectable and undignified? It just grossed him out every time he saw the old man giggle while peeping. Why did it have to be him, as a godfather? Why couldn't it have been someone less of a pervert? Why does it have to be him? Naruto mumbled in frustration. He grabbed a stone and swiftly threw it at Jiraiya's direction. You know, it's not nice to throw stones at people. Jiraiya said as he, in slow motion, caught the stone as he spun around. He was now facing Naruto, or well he expected it to be Naruto. It was a clone. What? Come on. A clone. Where you hiding, kid? A stone was cast and it shot fast towards Jiraiya. And bullseye. Jiraiya was knocked out cold, his face planted to the ground. I know it's not nice to throw stones, but it is also not nice to peep on girls. Naruto grunted out as he walked to Jiraiya and picked up the stone. I've had my fair share of stones when I was in Konoha. I know it isn't nice to throw them at other people. Naruto explained as he gripped onto the stone hard. Jiraiya puffed out of the area. Naruto immediately took out a kunai and readied himself. Harboring ill feelings towards Konoha, I hear. Jiraiya said, standing behind Naruto and catching him by surprise. Naruto dropped his fighting stance and just angrily faced in another direction. He didn't feel like fighting. No, not really. Well, not as much as other people expect me to. Naruto stated. Jiraiya raised an eyebrow at his statement. Other people? Who else has approached you? Jiraiya asked. Your two old teammates, who else? Naruto irritatingly replied. His hands were crossed on his chest and his chin was up in the air. You weren't the only person who was curious about me. But they didn't really approach me. More like, we crossed paths just recently. Naruto bragged. Jiraiya was taken back. That snake and that old woman. They've crossed paths with Naruto already. Under what circumstances did they meet? Jiraiya was getting worried. Boy, who would be curious about a stupid brat like you? You've got a lot of air in your head. Jiraiya said as a comeback, which totally got Naruto. Look, who are you to me anyways? And what do you want? Itachi Nyasen was the one who informed me of this. Now state your reason. Naruto said in a serious tone. Jiraiya was taken aback by Naruto's tone of voice. Was this really Naruto? Was Itachi saying the truth? Ho, Naruto. It wasn't only me who was curious about your state. It's the old man Hokage. He wants to see you again. Naruto held in his breath. His hands tightened into fists and his lips formed a tight line. I am Jiraiya, one of the legendary Sannin of Konoha. Awesome, aren't I? Jiraiya said with his funky introductory dance. Naruto sighed deeply. He turned around and walked away. I find no use of going back to the village. Not now. Naruto stated, with his back facing Jiraiya. Jiraiya's funky introduction didn't work as he had expected. Naruto raised his hand as a goodbye gesture and vanished into thin air. Oi, now that didn't work out. Jiraiya said to himself. He regained his composure and crossed his hands over his chest. This was going to be difficult. Not only for the fact that Naruto didn't seem to want to talk, but at the same time his suspicions about the brat was growing immensely. Jiraiya had to find a way around the circumstance. He is his godfather after all. Aha, that might get his attention. Jiraiya went ahead and chuckled to himself. I've got you in my hands, Naruto. What do you want now, Iro Sennin? Naruto irritatingly asked. His brows were furrowed and his arms were crossed over his chest. Jiraiya chuckled at the look Naruto gave. His eyes were wide with excitement and curiosity. Oh, he is going to get Naruto good. I want to make a proposal, Naruto-kun. Jiraiya said in a particular teasing tone. His eyes were widening as if to try amaze Naruto with what he was about to say next. Jiraiya got a scroll from his back and laid it out on the ground. There were writings on the scroll, names. There were various of names, one followed by another. And the last name written was, "What's the deal, Iro-senin?" Naruto stomped his foot on the ground and his brows furrowed some more. This older guy was getting on his nerves, reminding him of things that Naruto wanted to avoid. The deal is, I let you sign for a contract with the Toads. You let me train you for a while. Jiraiya offered. He sat on the ground right next to the scroll and grinned at the kid. Naruto's eyes widened and a sly smile crept on his face. This was some kind of deal, there must be something in it that makes Jiraiya think that Naruto's going to outright accept the offer. Jiraiya smiled at Naruto, it was not every day that he would just randomly offer the right to summon to somebody else. But that was the thing, Naruto isn't just somebody else. Why would I be interested for a contract with the Toads? Naruto inquired, wanting to expose Jiraiya's ulterior motives a little bit more. Naruto's eyebrow was raised and his cheeks puffed, seemingly half interested in the offer at hand. Jiraiya laughed. Why would you want a contract with the Toads? Why not? Have you gotten a contract with another animal? Jiraiya asked and Naruto answered with a shake of the head. You see, Naruto, Toads are awesome. Jiraiya said as he jumped backwards and bit his thumb. Jiraiya performed a sequence of seals before slamming his hand down onto the ground. A big puff of smoke covered the area and when it cleared a toad came out. A small orange toad the size of a hand. Jiraiya gawked at his circumstance, why did it have to be the small fry at this time? Boy, are you kidding me? Naruto deadpanned Jiraiya's attempt to gain his interest. This was totally getting absolutely nowhere. Where is your father? Jiraiya screeched at the small orange toad. The toad just looked at Jiraiya and sheepishly smiled. Jiraiya had no time for Gamakichi. Father? He's busy so he decided to have me go instead. Gamakichi replied. Jiraiya just gawked at the toad's reply. What can keep a toad busy? Your father is busy, what if by Kami's sake I was in a deadly situation that I needed his help? What would have happened to me? Jiraiya angrily exclaimed to the small toad, who just shrugged off Jiraiya's remark. Well, you aren't in any danger right now anyways. Gamakichi pointed out. Naruto laughed his head off by how the toad spoke so casually to the toad sage. I'm going. Naruto stated, regaining his composure. He took a step around and began walking away from Jiraiya. I have more important business to handle. See you around, Iro-senin. Naruto, I know you want to get the contract with the Toads. I would want you to sign as well, just as your father did. Jiraiya straight out said to Naruto. Naruto smirked, he finally got the perverted sage to tell his true motive. PSK, I'll sign it when I need to sign it. Naruto argued. But Jiraiya was right, if he were given the choice to sign the contract right there he would have. But there were still a lot of other factors he should consider, not only that, but the fact that he needed to consult his brothers about this whole situation. Things were getting complicated. Oh ho, trust me kid. You're going to need their help sooner or later. Depends on what path you choose. Jiraiya stated. Naruto paused for a while before continuing walking away. See you around, Naruto. And so they parted at that point. Not after a few days did Naruto meet Jiraiya again. This time, Naruto was determined to get the contract with the Toads. His brothers had allowed him and Naruto fixed his other problems as well. Maybe this was one of the ways Naruto could know about his father a little bit more. Maybe training under the pervy sage would let Naruto know about his father more. Naruto didn't want to have anything that was related to Minato, but then he remembered what Sasori had told him years ago. That no matter what, they will help him with facing with the truth. But before they can help Naruto, Naruto needed to help himself first. And Jiraiya is his godfather after all. Naruto threw a rock at Jiraiya, and when the rock hit, the clone dispersed. A rock hit Naruto from behind. Flinching in pain, Naruto turned around to see that it was the pervy sage who threw the rock. He was sitting on top a medium-sized toad that was smoking from a pipe. I am the legendary toad sage Jiraiya. He exclaimed as he did a weird pose while standing on top of the toad. I see you have come to a decision. He said, throwing a scroll onto the ground. It was the same scroll that he had presented to Naruto days ago. Writing using his blood, Naruto had signed the contract with the Toads. His name was right next to his father's, and that made Jiraiya smile. Now, let's move on to training. Naruto thought things couldn't get complicated than it was now. But he was so wrong. Things did get a lot more complicated from then on. Especially when he unconsciously tapped into Kyuubi's chakra more than usual. The room was dark and the floor was flooded up to his ankles. Chills ran down his spine. Naruto looked up to see gold gates that went up so high he couldn't see where the other end was. In the middle of the gate was a piece of paper with the writing seal on it. Naruto took a step back, looking past the bars. There was something moving. Eyes widened in fright and his body shook in fear. Snarls and growls were echoing around the place and the water vibrated in such tense atmosphere. This was the Kyuubi's cage. Those fools who try to train you and dare to tap into my chakra. Kyuubi's voice echoed in the area. You aren't strong enough, brat. You're still afraid. Oh, look how you tremble. Kyuubi's malicious voice made Naruto have chills. Kyuubi's face was getting close to the gates and Naruto couldn't even move because of intense fear. Is this the end of Uzumaki, Naruto? Kyuubi gave out a sly smile. But then Naruto chuckled and the water seemed to have calmed down. Boy, you stupid fox. Listen up and listen well, you are locked inside of me. Do you want to die? Cause I'm not dying until I become Hokage. Naruto angrily told the Kyuubi off. He was pointing at the Kyuubi and he wasn't trembling anymore. The Kyuubi chuckled. Oh, what a container the Yondaime has given. That was one of Naruto's memorable meetings with the Kyuubi. Of course, it didn't just stop there. There were meetings one after the other and meetings where more surprising things were revealed. The bell chimed. There were 5 men walking down the path. There they were covered in their cloaks and faces hidden beneath their straw hats. Many years have gone and passed, it was time to return. Finally going back, huh? Kissa muttered beneath his breath. They've all been waiting for this day to come. Well, not just waiting but also preparing. Deidara was getting emotional again. The blonde was getting too attached to Naruto after all. For the love of God, can we walk any slower? Kissam complained. Sasori looked at Kissam with a confused face. Kissam just sweat dropped. That was a sarcastic remark. TCH, what are you all getting emotional about anyways? It's not like the kid's going to die. Kissam exclaimed. Deidara gasped and Sasori scornfully looked at Kissam. With a sigh, Itachi glanced at Naruto's expression. There was a big grin plastered on the Naruto's face. I've been preparing myself for this. We've been preparing for this. The blonde-haired kid replied. All 4 of the others looked at Naruto. They can't believe how many years has passed since then. And now, here they were dropping Naruto off to Konoha. After all these years, they've all made it. Deidara was definitely getting emotional. I feel so emotional about this. Patting the sides of his eyes, Deidara grunted as if to check on his tear ducts. Have you got everything you need with you? Sasori asked. Naruto unzipped his blue cloak and checked on his things. He looked at Sasori and nodded. Naruto was prepared. Naruto, don't show off too much now. Itachi warned. Kissam and Deidara nodded in unison as they knew Naruto well. Naruto just sweat dropped at the reminder but couldn't help but smile. Itachi hasn't changed at all. Here we are. We won't go any further. See you, brat. Kissam said as the 4 of them stopped. Naruto turned around to face his brothers. A big grin was plastered onto his face. Thanks, Nai-sans. Naruto exclaimed with his right fist pumped forward. I'll be seeing you again soon, okay? Till then, take care. Naruto added. The 4 couldn't help but smile at the sight. The first time they saw him was when he was half dead lying on the ground outside of Konoha. Naruto has changed. He grew in height and, thankfully because of his trainings, grew up with a lean figure. His clothes had also changed. Naruto now wore an orange shirt with a black sleeveless flak jacket over it. The flak had a red Uzumaki swirl at the back. He wore a pair of black plain pants and a pair of black ninja sandals. His pouch and clay pouch were strapped to his hips while his holster was strapped to his left thigh. On his back, he carried a bandaged up sword with the hilt just showing. You take good care, Naruto-sama. Sasori tilted his straw hat at Naruto. Naruto nodded and waved his goodbye. Then, he flickered out of thin air. Konoha hadn't changed much. And from the looks of it, it was still the Sandaime who ran as Konoha's cage. Naruto stood up tall and proud on one of Konoha's city walls. There was a mixture of excitement and anxiety swirling within him. He removed his cloak, straw hat and his sword. He definitely had to hide them. It's still too early for any surprises. If he were to make an entrance, he could at least blend in a little bit more. With a smirk on his face, Naruto flickered down into the city center. Konoha really hadn't changed much. Hell, there were people glancing at him. Eyes wandered here and there, as if they were familiar with his face. He even heard someone gasp. Naruto inwardly flinched. It has been a long time since he got those kind of looks shot at him. I guess some things haven't changed with all the discomfort. Naruto decided to cut to the chase. With another flick, he was gone. I sensed you have come back. Sensed? I bet you just used your magic ball to check up on me. Naruto teased as he stepped out of the curtains. He was inside the Hokage's office. How are you, Naruto? Hiruzen asked. Looking at Naruto's direction. The boy has grown quite well, it has been 8 years since he last saw Naruto. Alive and kicking. Naruto said. With a snap of his fingers, 4 Anbus came into sight and collapsed on the ground. Hiruzen sternly looked at Naruto. Those were the ambus that was assigned to keep check on the Hokage at all times, more like his personal guards for security purposes. Now. You are right on schedule, just as agreed with Itachi. How was your trip? Hiruzen asked, his sights set on the unconscious ambus. It was okay. I see the village hasn't changed much. Also, I just knocked them out for a while. I need to ensure the privacy of our conversation. You have a lot of eyes and ears on you. Naruto stated. Sarutobi slumped back to his chair and sighed. Naruto has improved quite amazingly, as to be expected of being trained by Itachi. I guess Itachi Nyasen has explained to you some details. Naruto said. Some details. Like being trained and taken under his wing. You've been to quite a lot of places, I suppose. And I take it you have also met of Jiraiya. Yay, that hero Senin. Itachi Nyasen will be kept updated. Just so you know, Hokage Jiji. And so he doesn't know of my other brothers. Well, then. What can I help you with? The Hokage seemed to be tensed about Naruto's return. This was, of course, going to cause ruckus within the system and the village. The Kyuubi's Jinchuriki has finally returned. And this time, he was not the same child that they could just beat up. Naruto was stronger than them now. I want to be a registered ninja. And not just any ninja, I want to be Hokage. Naruto grinned at the old man. Sarutobi's eyes widened in surprise and a smile graced his lips. Naruto hasn't changed. I will become strong and the people will notice me differently. Would you want to be placed in the Anbu department? Or as a jounin maybe? Hiruzen offered Naruto. Logically, there would be no use to Naruto if he were to undergo being in the lower ranks anyways. I want to start from the bottom. Genin. Hiruzen almost gasped at the thought. Trained by Itachi Uchiha all these years and he's going to be a Genin. Then, I could really say that I made my way all the way to the top. I really want to be Hokage the right way. No shortcuts. Naruto's blue eyes set dead straight to Hiruzen's. The Hokage couldn't help but chuckle at the sight. This reminded a lot about the past of the fourth Hokage. Are you sure? Itachi told me he trained you hard. Isn't Genin too low to start? Hiruzen asked while stroking his chin. No, I wouldn't get to meet my batch of Genins if I skip. Also, Itachi Nai said he wouldn't mind for reasons. Naruto replied giving Hiruzen a look. Ah, right. Sasuke. Naruto nodded. Well then, I shall place you in the graduating class then. Your teacher will be Yamino Ruka. Do you have a place to stay yet? If I can I stay at my parents' house? His eyebrow lifted at Naruto's request. The boy has knowledge of his parents. Itachi beat him right to it. Not only does Naruto know of the truth about Kyuubi, but now, Naruto also knows about the truth of his inheritance. Most importantly, his bloodline. Well then, that makes my job easier. But, of course, you can. It is part of your inheritance. However, I do not hold the keys. Your father entrusted them to Jiraiya. The last time I heard, Jiraiya had hidden the keys of the Namikaze estate to the Toads. Hiruzen stated. Naruto nodded, so this was the reason Jiraiya had offered him the contract to the Toads. Well, other than getting the same contract as his father. I can handle that. Thanks, Hokage Jiji. Naruto said before flickering out of the room. Oh, has he made a contract with the Toads already? That Jiraiya. Hiruzen was left there with 4 unconscious ambus on the ground. You could have at least cleaned up your mess, Naruto. Things are going to change from here on. I wonder where this will bring us. Away from the bustle of Konoha city, the Namikaze estate looked like a palace from outside. With 2 large metal gates and high walls surrounding it, anyone couldn't just peek to see what was inside. Following what the Sandaime said, Naruto summoned one of the Toads and asked for the keys to the estate. It has been quite some time since they had to retrieve the keys, even the Toads took some time to get it. After a while, Naruto had in his possession the keys to the Yondaime's house, his parents' house and supposedly, his house. I'm home. He laid down the scroll on the ground and used his blood to unlock the seal written on the scroll. After unlocking the seal, Naruto followed the scroll's instruction to unlock the metal gates. A large front yard greeted Naruto. Sakura trees were planted around the yard, with stone slabs leading a path to the front door. The house was circular in its shape, with the exterior painted white and the roof made up of orange tiles. Naruto opened the front wooden doors and stepped into his family's house. The first thing he saw was a life-size portrait of his parents. His father was standing behind his mother, his arms wrapped around her waist and their fingers intertwined. Minato had a small timid smile on his face, while Kushina had a big radiant smile. Naruto observed the portrait a bit more, he had gotten his father's spiky blonde hair and blue eyes. And he clearly got his big smile from his mother. And they both have given him life. I'm home, Dad and Mom. Naruto uttered under his breath. He removed his sandals and stepped in his house. Time to do some cleaning. Naruto said as he noticed the amount of dust that had accumulated in the house. And to get acquainted with this place. He scratched his cheek at the thought, he blushed. Back when he was a 5-year-old child, Naruto wouldn't even imagine having information of his parents or having his own house. This was a warm feeling that he welcomed. "I'm going to be Hokage," Naruto exclaimed to himself, both arms pumped in the air. Feeling the surge of happiness and excitement by the series of good fortune that was happening to him. Naruto felt the prize of his hard work after all those trainings. With a hand seal, Naruto made a dozen of clones to help him with cleaning up the house and the yard. Unsealing his things from the scroll, Naruto laid down on the couch, hoping that tomorrow's class wouldn't be as boring as hell. Naruto woke up just minutes before sunrise. Everything felt new to him. The bed, the room, the feeling of owning a house. The splashes of sadness accompanying the thoughts of growing in a home with his parents beside him. But pushing those aside, he had to be disciplined with his morning routine. Getting out of bed, 2 clones appeared to assist Naruto with household duties. Naruto sleepily rubbed his eye and proceeded to walk to the humongous bathroom the Namikaze estate had. They definitely preferred to enjoy long baths. Naruto said to himself as he enjoyed a quick relaxing dip. Naruto decided to change his attire. He picked a plain yellow shirt with a red spiral at the back and matched it with black shorts that stopped just above his knee. He went back to his room, picked up his kunai and clay pouch. He strapped them over his waist. Naruto looked at his Zanbato for a good second and decided to not bring it yet. He strapped his holster to his left thigh. Putting on also his shoes, he went downstairs. 2 busy clones were pacing in the kitchen and preparing his meal. He lazily sat on the couch, thinking that the academy would be as boring as hell. He'd have go through several weeks undercover. A sudden spark of idea. What if he could ask the Hokage to make the team settings? That would be great. He exclaimed with an evil laugh echoing in his head. It would be advantageous to plan the teams because he can figure out who would suit who. Beneficial and fun to do, Naruto was getting excited. Then, something clicked in his head. He should really tell the Hokage about Kyuubi. Old man has the right to know about Kyuubi. Closing his eyes, Naruto entered his own mindscape. "Naruto-kun, what are you doing here?" Kyuubi asked. "Yup, the great Nine-Tails is a girl." Naruto still couldn't forget the day Kyuubi revealed he was a she. Just several months ago, Naruto was getting bored from all the silence and decided to break it. He turned to face Sasori and asked him curiously. Sasori Naisan. Why is Kyuubi so big?" "Naruto, ask Itachi that question because he knows more about Biju than me." Sasori simply replied, making Naruto pout. "Itachi Naisan, why do you think Kyuubi is big?" Naruto asked. "Well, it's because Kyuubi has a lot of chakra and power that he became that gigantic." Itachi swiftly replied. "But I have lots of chakra, why am I not bigger?" Kisame snorted out a laugh. Deidara raised his eyebrow and chuckled at Naruto's childish points. "Is Kyuubi a girl or a boy?" he asked again, making everyone look at him. "Well, Naruto, we do not know. That's not really a question you think to yourself when you see the Kyuubi on the loose. But maybe we can believe he is a boy because of his deep voice." Itachi said while the other 3 nodded, adding to Naruto's growing curiosity. "I wanna ask Kyuubi." Ever since Naruto started training chakra control, he's met Kyuubi. The first time Naruto tapped into the Kyuubi's chakra was chaotic. Deidara didn't know what to do. Sasori had to knock Naruto out with sleeping serum. Itachi has kept an eye on Naruto's seal starting then on. "I'm gonna ask Kyuubi later." Later that day, Sasori decided to start fixing camp for the night. That was a long walk," Deidara remarked as he stretched his arms out. Kisame set out to gather wood for fire while Deidara prepared their food. Sasori and Itachi went around the surrounding area to patrol and set up traps. It's always better safe than sorry. They've developed the knack of being extra cautious, especially for Naruto's sake. The kid sat high up on the branches of a nearby tree from camp. "Kyuubi," Naruto said again and again as he tried to call Kyuubi. "What is it, you little brat? Don't yell furball, it makes my head ache. And why would I care? I was not the one who disturbed someone's sleep." "Oh, a cranky Kyuubi. Well, I just wanted to know something about you." "Fine. What is it? Quick, let me go back to sleep. Are you a male or a female?" Kyuubi inwardly taken back. That was an unusual question. Nobody's ever asked that before. And nobody has really grown curious of details. "I'm a girl, you idiot. Doesn't Kyuubi sound like a girl's name to you?" Now that I think of it, it does sound feminish. But isn't it just because you literally have 9 tails? Of course, it means 9 tails. Duh. I have my own name, idiot. I'm a female and I'm proud of it. Wow, how weird. The beast feared by most is a girl. Never thought of that. So, Kyuubi, why are you gigantic? Hail, demons are the protectors of this planet. We have lived thousands of years and have seen all the rise and falls of your race. We were created to balance this world. If the balance were broken, we are the ones who are to put it back. Demons this big could be seen throughout miles and miles, so we have the power to transform into appropriate sizes or even human form like you. Can I see? Can I see? I want to see your human form. Fine. But you better change this place. I don't want to get my kimono wet in this dirty sewer. I could do that this entire time, why did we even bother tolerating this messy place? Okay, leave it to me. Naruto said as the cage disappeared and the sewer was replaced by a beautiful flower bed. Now that's more like it. Kyuubi was suddenly taking human form, her fur disappearing and her paws turning into hands and feet, her face became more human-like. The transformation was done. A woman now stood on the exact location Kyuubi were. She had beautiful red hair flowing past her waist matching with her beautiful red eyes. Her face was like no demon, it looked like it belonged to an angel. Her skin so white and womanly curves. She wore a cute pink kimono and stood a good 6 feet tall. She wore black-heeled sandals. However, she had anklets on both feet and also thick metal cuffs on both wrists with a kanji mark for seal. The woman looked like she was 20 years old and definitely not thousands of years old. Kyuubi ran a hand through her hair. Kyuubi, you look amazing. You're so beautiful. Thank you, Naruto-kun. She said, giving the cute boy a kiss on the cheek, earning a blush on his young face. Can you be my Ni-chan? The young boy asked, his eyes sparkling. Who would have thought this would be the development between the holder and the Biju? Kyuubi smiled at just how simple his question was. Of course, Naruto. But you are going to be my new little brother, deal? And you have to call me by my real name, okay? Naruto happily nodded in agreement. My name is Akako. It's special, so remember it please. That is the proof of my trust to you. Akako Nichan. The boy gave her a big toothy grin. I guess this changes training, then. Naruto had made great progress with meditation to help him with his chakra control. A problem he would always have to deal with because of Kyuubi. That's true. Now little brother, I am going to teach you all that I know. This is important and quite different from what the others have trained you. We have to train here inside your mind every night. And I have to tell you all about our family. Akako looked directly at Naruto's orbs. He gave a confident nod. This wasn't expected from both of them. Nobody even expected Kyuubi was a girl. The day when Kyuubi talked about the family thing still surprises Naruto even now. Being my new brother makes you the heir to my throne, Naruto. Kyuubi said as she sat down the field, patting the spot right next to her and motioning Naruto to take a seat. How you can have an heir? Why? Naruto asked as he took a seat. As the rule states, when the tailed demon becomes incapable of handling her responsibility, she should have an heir to replace her. We can't reproduce, so my rightful heir must be chose. You should be the one to replace my position in this world, Naruto. But does that mean that the other tailed demons also have heirs? What's the catch, Akako ni? Yes, they should have one because as you know we are the protectors of this planet, so if we die who will be the one to balance things out? I was busy trying to contact the others several years ago, I am not sure where they are now. We go our separate ways and barely interact. Tailed beasts are like brothers and sisters born with the same fate. We were born before humans, even before ninjutsu. We decided to give some clans special gifts. Sharingan and Byakugan as examples. Some were not ninjutsus, but were special characteristics such as having IQs over 100 or Inyazukas having a keen sense of smell and be able to understand dogs. We watched them create and learn how to use our gifts to their needs. Power that some of the gifted people here today were given by us. Later on these present years, I saw a man abuse our gift and used it to fight back at us. Seeing the man abuse such power given, we planned to take back the gift we gave to him. I don't know the man's name. He had a powerful form of Sharingan no one has ever seen before. Born of ulterior motives and nurtured loathe. I sought the man and said to him that the gods had told us that we should take away his powers. Angry, he fought back and tried to control me. In the end, he won. He successfully controlled me and used this power to make me destroy Konoha. If things were to go bad, we need to ensure our position as tailed beasts could be succeeded. I agree. That's a lot to carry, Akako ni. I understand now why you need an heir, but if I become your heir, I am not immortal. Naruto looked at her puzzled that this would pass. That is not a problem. Living for thousands of years, we learn a lot. There was boy who had a demon sealed in him, when I asked him if it was a Biju he said it wasn't. He had a phoenix demon sealed into him when he was kidnapped. I asked him again about the demon. He said that being with the demon for many years the demon completely merged with him making him like a half-breed. As I became more curious, I asked him how it happened. He explained that if the demon was sealed into an innocent soul, the demon becomes purified and merges with the soul of the person. The man said that the demon can now talk with him freely. These things happen quite rarely as you know the only innocent souls you could find now are the newborn babies. Such fragile beings. And you being a baby when I was sealed makes you a pure innocent soul. When you turn around the age of 20 I will completely vanish and my power, knowledge and lifespan will merge to you. Aren't you going to regret dying in a body of a mortal? I've had a lot already. I want to rest. It's like I'm quitting, but I'm not. I'm actually being a responsible tailed beast like what is expected of me. So it's like I'm dead but still around. Besides, I'd like to see my little brother grow up. Akako snorted out, her eyeballs playfully rolling. Naruto smiled at just how plain and simple it seemed for her. Kyuubi was literally passing Naruto her worldly responsibilities, and she does it while rolling her eyes. Arigato Kyuubi-sama. Akako looked at Naruto with a small smile. She stood up and fixed the creases of her kimono. Okay. Now that you accept being my heir, I will personally train you. Call me, sensei. Akako gave a sly smile, with an evil glint in her eyes. Hi. Sensei. And that was how Naruto started training the Biju that was sealed in him. An unexpected bond with his literal inner demon. Remembering those important memories made Naruto smile. Kyuubi hasn't changed a bit, she still wore a kimono. Akako turned out to be an older sister Naruto didn't expect he needed. Nothing, Mi-chan just came here to ask if you would like to go outside and have breakfast with me. Naruto smiled as he approached her closer. Okay, sure Taudo. I would love to have breakfast with you. Kyuubi said as she grabbed Naruto and ruffled his blonde locks. Naruto began performing a series of hand seals. After Naruto and Akako talked, he began studying seals to be make Kyuubi his summon. After 7 months of research and his studies with Jiraiya, he started making a special seal that can make Akako literally free, but technically still bound to him. Naruto achieved his goal. It was a good time for Naruto and Jiraiya to work on something together as bonding. Jiraiya was impressed and praised Naruto, just how similar he was like his father. Hakatamashi. Kai Naruto said as red chakra began leaking out of him and started to take form. This seal took a while to perform, and the chakra stung. A few seconds later Kyuubi now stood there happy on being free again. This technique also made Kyuubi a summon for Naruto. Naruto was relieved when he finally got it right. This was especially important when the time comes for Akako to fully merge with Naruto. For Akako, she silently prayed to God thanks. Sealed in a human didn't seem so bad, or maybe it's because she was sealed in Naruto. She found herself fortunate. Akako, I called you out here to discuss about some things. Naruto stated, hinting Akako of a serious matter at hand. Should we tell Jiji about you? Naruto asked as they sat on the couch. Akako crossed her arms, brows furrowed. We should tell that Hokage about this, or else he would think that we are hiding something. She said. Gaining his trust right now is important. We have to assure him of our cooperation. You're right. But when do we tell him? Naruto said as he went into thinking pose. We also need to factor in my brother's visit. Well, we don't know when it'll arrive. Take it a step at a time, kid. Within the day would be a good idea. Akako said as Naruto nodded in agreement. A sudden knock came from the front door. Naruto glanced at Akako and walked to the door. He opened it, seeing the Hokage standing there smiling at Naruto. Naruto closed the door a bit and glanced back to Akako. It's him. He mouthed to her. Akako understood and stood up, giving Naruto a nod. Okay, good morning Jiji. Naruto opened up the door and motioned him to enter. Good morning Naruto. I just came by to check up on you. Are you done cleaning up? Is it alright here? The third replied, as his eyes wandered to scan the interior of the house. Well, cage buncheons are really useful. Naruto said with a foxy smile. Oh, you have that jutsu down? Good. Hiruzen replied as he looked at Naruto. I have already informed your sensei about you. Your class is with Yumi no Ruka. Okay. But Jiji, I have something to tell you. Naruto said as he looked at the back, there Akako was standing smiling widely. It's a long story, but Kyuubi is here. Hiruzen's eyes grew wide and his mouth shut tight. He quickly glanced at Naruto and to Akako. Naruto. Hiruzen said with so much command in his voice. You have a lot to explain to me. The third said. Naruto nodded. He understood how important this factor would be. There was a lot of ground to cover and even more about the background of the tailed beasts. It could be said that Naruto knew more than anybody in the village would. This would definitely shake the foundations of what they understand about tailed beasts. That's all you need to know for now, Jiji. Naruto said while telling how Akako is Kyuubi and how the seal release works. Hiruzen looked at Akako majority of the time during Naruto's explanation. She remained composed throughout the entire conversation. Her legs were crossed and her hands placed on top of her knee. Akako would nod at certain statements, not once did she interject. She left it all to Naruto to explain. You are turning out to be much like your father, Naruto the Hokage thought, but you are still hiding your true power and strength to us. I know what I have done to this village and what my image is to normal people. Akako said, breaking the silence in the room. Hiruzen lifted a brow to her statement. But there is bigger concerns than the past. A concern that I worry the kid will have to face in the future. She continued. Naruto looked at Akako and his eyes softened. We are telling you this early, Hokage. It is our priority to gain this village's trust. It is Naruto's goal. Akako said, returning Naruto's soft gaze with a soft smile. Hiruzen let out a soft sigh. Well, thank you for telling me early. He said. Let's see what we can do. Both Akako and Naruto nodded. They did the right move. Well, that was a long story. Can we eat breakfast now? Akako asked as she went to the dining room. She motioned the two to join her at the table. The clones puffed out, breakfast was served. Akako took her seat and just started eating anyways. Bite after bite, she showed so much gusto eating. Naruto looked at the Hokage and laughed. Let's eat before she finishes everything. Sarutobi let out a laugh. This scene looks similar to seeing 5-year-old Naruto eat ramen in the past. The three shared a good breakfast and conversations. Naruto, here's your allowance, I'll provide for you just until you become Genin and earn for yourself. Sarutobi handed a small envelope to him. This reminds me of the past. Of how vulnerable Naruto was as a child. But that's long gone now. He's grown. Thanks Gigi. Naruto yipped as his eyes became stars while looking at the envelope. Sarutobi smiled at Naruto's easy joys. Okay. I have to get going now. There is so much paperwork waiting for me. Good luck at classes now. Goodbye. Sarutobi said, turning his back going to the door. Naruto sudden jumped to the door and stopped him. Nah, Gigi, say, I want to make a bet with you. Naruto said with a smile, saying I know something you don't. And what will it be? Sarutobi got curious about the bet. I bet that I can find a way to make your arch-enemy paperwork go away. He smiled wider, making Sarutobi even more curious. Oh, and what will the price be? Sarutobi asked. If I win, let me help on making the Genin teams up. If you win, I will not eat cup ramen for a month deal. Naruto said as he extended his hand to Sarutobi. It was a funny deal, Naruto clearly didn't have anything to lose. He could still eat ramen at Ichiraku. Sarutobi gave out a hearty laugh and extended his hand. They shook hands and agreed to the deal. Then, Naruto broke into a loud laughter. Gigi, one way to solve your problem with paperwork is by using Kage Bunshin. I mean, Hairite. When you make a Kage Bunshin, it not only helps you, but you can also gather all the information it knows afterwards. Making work easy like a piece of cake, right? Naruto said, making the third Hokage think. It was an idea. Why did I not think about that? I won't exhaust my chakra by making just one clone. Naruto, you're a genius. A godsend. An angel fallen from the sky, a mighty savior. Naruto could see the heavens light up in Sarutobi's eyes. Naruto, you're a genius. Excellent point. Sarutobi said as he made 2 clones and told them to go to the office. Finish all paperwork will come easier now. Sarutobi closed Naruto in a hearty laugh of a hug. And breathe. Naruto wheezed out, trying to pull the old man away. This feels like when Gigi would check up on me back then. Thanks Naruto. Now, maybe I can manage my time better. You win the deal. After the promotion exams, come to me directly and we'll sort them out, okay? Naruto nodded. Bingo. Naruto chuckled at his thought. Now, time for different set of priorities. Well, I'm going. You can come with me if you want. If you don't wanna, just stay here inside. Just in here, okay? Naruto said as he put on his ninja sandals. He tapped his foot on the ground and opened the front door. Wait. I'm coming. Akako said as she finished washing the dishes and ran after Naruto. Catching up to him, she said bye and went back inside to seal. Naruto, stop eating so much ramen. It's still breakfast and you eat that junk all the time. It is not junk. Now, what direction is the academy? Naruto thought. Naruto, don't you see the sign Ninja Academy 1 kilometer away, north? Akako stated with a sweat drop. Naruto laughed embarrassingly and then ran north. Inside the classroom, students were interacting with one another, especially 2 awfully loud bickering girls named Ino and Sakura. The classroom was filled with leveled wooden tables and chairs. In front, there was a wall-to-wall long chalkboard with the teacher's table just in front of it. Students were chatting up a noise while waiting for the teachers to come in. Ino, get away from Sasuke-kun. Sakura yelled at the blonde girl. Sakura, you're the one who should stay away. Ino mockingly replied, giving Sakura a smug look. You two get back to your seats. A new student is going to sit there. The teacher said while walking into the room. Typical start of the day. But Iruka-sensei, the exams are coming soon. Shouldn't a new student start at the first year? Sakura asked as the other students nodded in agreement. Well, he's a special case. It says here he had lessons outside the village. We will wait for him to arrive and then we will start class. Mizuki said, tapping on the paper he held on his hand. Suddenly, a boy was there standing in front of all of them. Mizuki was stunned. The girls were already checking him out, thinking he could be as cool as Sasuke. While the boys just looked at the boy, thinking how he got there in front without them knowing. Is this Yumi no Yuka's class? The boy asked with a sheepish smile, hand at the back of his head. Oh, so you are the new student. Iruka said from the classroom door. Academy classes had 2 teachers per classroom to be able to properly moderate a number of students. Here's the letter Jiji told me to give you. The old man Hokage said that you should come to his office later afternoon, something to discuss about the teams, sensei. The boy said with a smile as he handed the scroll. The students gasped in surprise, the boy had just called the most powerful man in the village old man comfortably. Iruka just smiled. No one could dare call the Hokage old man, except his grandson and Naruto. Well, Naruto, good to see you again. It's been 8 years since I last saw you around. I was a genin then. Iruka smiled brightly as he ruffled Naruto's hair. The class's eyes grew wide. The new student lived here in Konoha. But left for 8 years and returned just now. Being close to the Hokage, he was allowed to join their class. Some students glared at him because he got special treatment from the Hokage of the village. Sensei, still chasing the cat from hell? Naruto asked. No more, I'm a regular teacher in the academy. You grew up in the past years, Naruto. Iruka said while Naruto nodded. Class, this is Uzumaki Naruto. He will be joining us from today, Iruka said. It might be a little late in the journey, but I hope all of you get along well. Let's begin class. Naruto, please take a seat between Hinata and Sasuke. Please raise your hands to show where Naruto will be seated. Iruka stated as two students rose up their hands. Naruto smilingly went to his seat. Hi, I'm Uzumaki Naruto. Nice to meet you. Call me Naruto. Hi Hina Hinata. Hi Uganai. Nice to meet you Hinata, shyly stuttered out. Sasuke Uchiha. Sasuke replied coldly while Naruto looked at him confused. What are you looking at? Sasuke said as he crossed his arms and faced away. Nothing, just put your mask on tight. Naruto said as he gave Sasuke a wide smile. Nah, Hinata don't Hyugas and Uchihas have Dojutsus? Naruto asked, which Hinata nodded as a reply. Those are Sharingan and Byakugan. Byakugan can see chakra and has a vision of 360 degrees. Sharingan can copy techniques such as Taijutsu, Ninjutsu, Jinjutsu. Naruto said. Hinata smiled and gave another nod as a reply. Hi Hinata said, smiling at Naruto's knowledge. That's right, Naruto-kun. You seem to know a lot Naruto. Sasuke said. Of course. In the past 8 years, I studied everything I could and got taught by my brothers. Naruto said. You'll know one soon. Naruto said while facing the other way. What is he talking about? I don't know anyone else outside the village, Sasuke thought. School bell rang signaling the end of classes for the day. Students were chatting away with their friends, some running out to play, and others fixing their bags before heading out. After a while, Naruto and Sasuke were the only ones left in the classroom fixing up their things. Naruto was about to go. Nah, Sasuke, have you ever thought about not having revenge? Naruto looked at Sasuke in the eyes. Have you ever thought of forgiving your brother? You don't know anything. Sasuke whispered, newcomer. Have you ever thought that Itachi would be feeling the same? Naruto asked, lonely from the death of his parents as well. Sasuke's brows furrowed, he angrily let go of his bag and stomped his way to Naruto. Sasuke grabbed Naruto's collar and sneered. Have you ever thought that if you and Itachi die, the Uchiha clan line will die with you? Naruto continued to talk despite Sasuke's anger. With one hand, Naruto grabbed Sasuke's trembling hand and removed Sasuke's grasp of his shirt. Naruto fixed his shirt before talking again. Who are you to talk? Do you even know me? Dope. Sasuke shouted at Naruto, face crumpled in frustration. I'm going to confess, Sasuke. I was with your brother these past 8 years. Sasuke took a step back. And do you know what he always talked about? He always talked about you. Naruto said, his eyes locked onto Sasuke's confused gaze. He was always worried about you. Who would take care of you? Who will help you in your training? Who will be with you all the time? Naruto said. Sasuke was really shocked. He always cared, Sasuke. He never really meant to kill your clan, someone else did, but Itachi Nai took the blame for it. Naruto said as grabbed a scroll out of his pocket. He gave the scroll to the stunned Sasuke. Here, this is a letter for you from Itachi. He said I should really give it to you. It would make things more clear for you. Naruto stated. Also, I think you and Itachi should be given a chance to restart again. Then, he left to let the Uchiha have some privacy. Naruto, do you think that Sasuke will take it the good way? I hope so. If it does, I'll ask Itachi Nai to come visit sooner. Time to have a reunion with his little brother, Naruto thought in reply. You know that boy, Sasuke, he's just masking out his pain and happiness, right? Yeah. Naruto looked at the sky. Birds were chirping and clouds slowly passing overhead. Quietly, Naruto walked home with his mind busy thinking how he could help Sasuke. An idea sparked into his mind. He could help Sasuke train. There was a lot of jutsus in the library at home. He could use that. Running excitedly back home, he quickly went upstairs and opened the door to the library. You know, Naruto, you should start with maybe a useful D-rank jutsu, Akako suggested. The Kaiten jutsu would be nice, don't you think? Yes, Uchihas are naturally good at fire techniques. With that, Naruto made 2 cage bunshins and began to rummage through the shelves. The books and scrolls that he found began to pile up. He sat down next to the pile and began to read each one, as so did the clones. Time passed and the clones were dismissed. Stretching his back, Naruto walked downstairs and grabbed a snack. Lazily munching a bag of chips, he had to take the mental hit of what the clones read through the scrolls. Afterwards, Naruto went back to the library to continue reading the last books and scrolls. He had found several jutsus that piqued his interest. Jutsus that Sasuke could easily pick up. These were called Kaiten. Ryu Kami Kin, Kaiten. Sankai Gakakyu no Jutsu, Raitensu no Ti. The first jutsu is a small concentrated fireball. The second jutsu is about creating 3 great fireballs in different directions at the same time. The last jutsu wasn't exactly a Kaiten jutsu, but it was a lightning-based jutsu. It would cover the palms of the user with lightning, enabling the use of shock. Two were C ranks, and the other one was a D rank. This might cheer Sasuke up, Naruto thought. New techniques could fancy in a cha. Hurriedly, Sasuke went back to his home. He ran inside, took off his shoes, went in his bedroom, and slammed the door shut. He held the scroll in his hands. He let out a sigh, his face crumpled in anger as he angrily threw the scroll on his bed. He took his bath and ate his meal in silence. Many thoughts were in his mind right now. Sasuke had to read that scroll. As he went back to his room, he took the letter and sat down. There was no way around this. Dear Sasuke. Sasuke, I have a lot to tell you. First, I'm sorry for leaving you alone. I know I shouldn't have left you behind, but you're still kid. I don't want you getting hurt while hunter nins try to hunt me down. Nothing was my doing, Sasuke. The one who killed the clan was Shisui. He said that he wanted to know his true potential. He killed them all. I, being the one to stop Shisui, had to kill him. I'm sorry, Sasuke. I know how sad it is to lose our family. The second is about your feelings. Before Father died, he asked me to take care of you. I know you still must be mad and I completely understand. But I don't want to fight you, Sasuke. You're the only family I have left and I wouldn't want to be all alone. When I finished on stopping Shisui, I was forced to leave. There were greater things happening in the background. Remember this, Sasuke, when I was here on the outside, all I thought is you. Who was going to take care of you? Were you going to be okay? Who will help you train? I was very worried. Third is about Naruto. He was still 5 when we found him. We found him beaten up, nearly dead outside of Konoha. We decided that he would be better off if he came along with us. When we chose that he would come along with us, I thought of bringing you too. But I knew you'd be mad. I couldn't enter Konoha because of the third's order. Sasuke, Naruto's a kind boy, but I warn you, don't get on his bad side. In these past years, we trained him for him to achieve his goal. He really wants to become Hokage. Sasuke, don't force him to tell you anything about him. He will tell you eventually. It's hard for Naruto to get many friends because of a special condition, so I hope that you two will get along. I will try and visit there sometimes. Don't worry, when I visit, we can talk about everything and anything. Your brother, Uchiha Itachi. Sasuke reread everything 3 times. Shocked to know his cousin was the traitor, guilted accusing Itachi something he had not done, surprised to how Itachi felt, happy to know he'll visit, and curious about Naruto. Many emotions tangled inside Sasuke right now, but he knew one thing, his body felt lighter. His sadness was going away with happiness being the one to replace. He finally knew what happened to his relatives and his parents. Tears slid down the young boy's face. He was happy knowing his brother was not the one who did the massacre. All those days where he had to keep everything to himself. His hands were holding the scroll for dear life, as if to ensure it remains real. Sniffling, Sasuke wiped away his tears. He laid back on his bed. Itachi and Naruto were together this entire time. Don't force him to tell you anything. Naruto became an extremely mysterious person to Sasuke now. Irritated, tomorrow he would try to make friends. Naruto had spent his entire afternoon in the library that when he looked out the window it was already late night. The moon and stars shined brightly in the night sky. He closed the scroll he was reading and walked silently out of the library. He looked around and frowned. It was quite lonely, a big house for one person. After a warm bath, he dressed up in his comfortable pajamas. Naruto checked whatever food he had in his fridge and ate his dinner. This would have been my life if I didn't move out of Konoha. He cleaned up the table, washed the dishes, and went upstairs. He looked at his bed. But it wouldn't have been this comfortable either. Sleeping lightly, Naruto dreamt about his brothers and how they were doing. Sasuke woke up to a rather new day. He did his usual routine. First, he did his morning exercises. Afterwards, he would wash up and prepare for the day. He made a quick sandwich for breakfast and drank his milk. Things could have been different. Sasuke shook his head. There was only one thing clear now. Itachi will return, and when he does, his name should be cleared. Sasuke lightly cleaned up his kitchen before leaving. Walking down the road, it felt like an entirely different path. The school bell rung. Morning classes had just started. Students were inside either whispering to each other, studying, or listening to the teacher. Well, Shikamaru was already sleeping. Naruto liked the idea of having a normal academy life. Earlier, Naruto made extra sure to be early to school. It was a good way to know his other classmates. As students came in, Naruto took the first step and made some friends. Shikamaru seems like a lazy boy, but behind that attitude he is very smart. Aburame Shino is a silent type of guy, likes to gather information from his Kikai bugs, which seems to be very great in getting information and scouting. Akimichi Chouji is quite fat but do not judge him. And do not ever dare say that to his face. Chouji said it's expected of Akimichi males to have bigger bodies for them to use their clan jutsu. And Yuzuka Kiba is a really loud boy and his small partner Akamaru seemed to be great in tracking. Hyuga Hinata is super shy and always spoke in a very soft voice. She always blushes when a boy comes too near to her. Naruto was having a blast at getting to know his batch mates. This was the best day ever, he had new friends. And he was starting to develop a crush. Uruno Sakura kept to herself and just sat down on her chair. From what the boys have been talking, Sakura holds all the top marks in written exams. Naruto was intrigued at how Sakura is different when Ino is around. Yamanaka Ino had long blonde hair, she talks quite loudly and acts bossy to others. Sakura and Ino don't go well together and from what Kiba said, it's because of their irritating crush on Sasuke. Speaking of, the Uchiha boy still hadn't arrived. Well, Naruto could rest a bit easy. Now he just had to make friends with Sasuke. Iruka was barely holding on to the last of what attention span the students had. The bell rang and Iruka stopped. Okay, class dismissed. Remember to do your homework. The kids were suddenly energized by the sound of dismissal. Friends talked to friends, going to their groups to hang out. Students packed their things and started heading out. Naruto, on the other hand, was snoring on his desk not planning to wake up. So, another person had the honor to wake him up. With a light punch on the back of the head, Naruto jerked right up and stood. Sasuke just smirked seeing the face of the idiot. Oi. Sasuke, don't do that, I was busy doing something, Naruto said. And what were you busy doing? Sleeping is my guess. Class ended, dope. Sasuke calmly said. Sasuke was about to leave when Naruto grabbed Sasuke's forearm. Okay, how about we go somewhere? Naruto asked looking up the boy, come on team. Sasuke huffed, eyes rolled, and just nodded. Fine. The duo got their things and moved out of the classroom, walking on the hallway. The girls who walked past them said hi or would confidently ask a date from the one of the two. And there were even who asked to date both. Some just blushed and waved hello at the sides. It was really okay at first. So this is how it feels to be a cool kid, Naruto smirked to himself, his eyes sparkling with overconfidence. He was feeling this moment. Then, others just immediately clung on them. The two got annoyed and pried them away. The girls started to form a group and started following them. A mad dash away from the girls, the two looked around for some place to hide when suddenly a hand grabbed Naruto's shoulder. Here. And told them to come with. With no other choice, they followed the mystery person, escaping the group of screaming girls. They stopped at a grassy clearing that had some various wild flowers. At the middle, quietly sitting was Shikamaru and Shino. Naruto immediately waved at them excitedly. Hey, guys. Sasuke scanned the area and saw Hinata, you're the one who brought us here. Hinata meekly replied a nod. Thanks. Sasuke said, surprising the poor girl to her soul. Sasuke wasn't the kind of person to say thanks. He barely even interacted with the others from their batch. You're welcome, Sasuke-san. Hinata murmured softly. And with that, Sasuke started walking to Naruto. Internally, Sasuke was also questioning why he said thanks. People say thanks to show appreciation. It was okay to say thanks. He closed his eyes for a second too long just to clear his thoughts. He was definitely being unusual. He approached Shikamaru and Shino and saw Naruto already settled down on a spot. Man, I told Chouji to go with me today. Troublesome. Shikamaru sighed out. He looked at the sky and watched the clouds pass by. Where did Chouji go today? Shino asked with a solid poker face. It's so cool to see Shino talk, makes me wonder what he's thinking. I wonder how he looks like when he needs to express emotion. Naruto, don't be so rude. He said his father wanted him to go home earlier today. Bet they cook something special tonight. Shikamaru sighed out, just thinking of all the Akimichi clan dishes. Hey Sasuke. Hinata-chan brought some cake. She baked it herself. Wanna eat? Naruto asked. Hinata was taken back, her face glowed red. Dope, stop being annoying. Sasuke said as he saw Hinata's reaction. She was definitely uncomfortable with this. Naruto flinched at the remark, his brow raised. No, it's okay Sasuke-san. Hinata stuttered out. I baked to share. She said with a shy smile. Chouji totally missed this. Shikamaru said looking at the cake. But Hinata gets nervous when Chouji taste tests the pastries. Shino stated. Naruto looked at Shino funnily. It's so cool to hear, Shino. Naruto said out loud. Sasuke lightly punched Naruto's shoulder. Ow, team. Why? Stop being so annoying, Naruto. Sasuke said, his eye twitching. He couldn't believe how a newcomer like Naruto could just act so comfortably among acquaintances. It's not like that. Hinata blurted out to the group, getting all the guys' attention. She was shocked of what she said all of a sudden. It's just that Chaoji-me might be too disappointed with what I bake. She quickly added, her face beating so red up to her ears. Hinata sat down, opening the box and taking out the cake. What? No way, it looks delicious. Naruto said with stars as eyes as he looked at the cake Hinata made. Hinata hiccuped at how straightforward Naruto said that. Her heart started beating so fast, it was hard to breathe. Shino did the honor of slicing the cake as if it's been the routine for ages. Shikamaru handed out forks to the others. I'll also have some. Sasuke said while holding the fork. Shikamaru and Shino, being the observant ones, watched as Sasuke ate a piece of cake. Shikamaru laid on the grass and stuck his fork in his mouth. It was all new to them to have Sasuke available and willing to interact. The Uchiha kid was mostly by himself. He barely stayed behind after class. He would mostly go home after classes and showed minimal interest in hanging out with their batch. Sasuke was detached. He was coldly distant. Shikamaru then decided to ask some questions. Sasuke, something new happen? He asked. Cool to see you hanging with a new kid. No, nothing new. He's just annoying. Sasuke said, using the fork to point to Naruto. Naruto was halfway chewing cake, looking at them like he got caught red-handed. Shikamaru chuckled. Sasuke has the perfect alibi. You guys hear some good news lately? Shikamaru asked again, this time addressed to everyone. Hinata and Shino shook their heads, Naruto just shrugged. Sasuke just stared, a cold icy blank face. Ah. Ichiraku started this loyalty card thing. Naruto burst out, grabbing something from his pocket. It was a rectangle card with Ichiraku logo on it. Hinata and Shikamaru just sweat-dropped at how joyous Naruto looked. My gut says today is a good day. Plus, Hinata made delicious cake. Shikamaru reasoned out, lying down again on the grass. Sasuke looked at him and glared a little. Shikamaru caught that little change. These things are less troublesome. He mumbled to himself, well, maybe nothing is up. Happy, Naruto was eating cake and talking with Hinata and Shino. He was showing not a single care in the world. It was as if they were in a bubble, having their own time. Sasuke looked at him, talked to the others. Naruto looked normal. He appeared normal. The more Naruto acted like an idiot, the more Sasuke remembered the letter Itachi wrote to him. And the more, it was difficult to believe. Boy, dope. Shouldn't we go somewhere else? Sasuke asked. Let's stay here. I want to chat with the others. Naruto said in an irritated, demanding voice. Sasuke glared at Naruto but let it go, not wanting to see what Itachi called as Naruto's dark side. It wasn't evident, but Shino was stunned by that exchange. How'd you learn how to bake, Hinata? Naruto smilingly asked Hinata. I just watched the house cook and learned from there. She replied. Thank you, Naruto-kun. Hinata added with a blush on her face. We should be the one thanking you. Naruto replied. You guys gather often? Shino looked at Shikamaru for a reply, while Shikamaru looked at Hinata. Hinata happily nodded yes. That's great. Hey Sasuke. You should hang out with people more often. Naruto deadpan stated. Shikamaru, Shino and Hinata didn't even know how to react to that. Shikamaru just got a new problem. First, his problem was Sasuke. He seems to be acting strange and Shikamaru has no idea why. Second, who is Naruto? He had no prior information on him, even background character information. Why is it that the top student of the class admitted to the new mystery student? How all the problems in the world it is so troublesome to solve them. Shikamaru sat up and stared at Naruto. 8 years ago, he could have seen Naruto inside the village. You could be blind to miss the blonde hair. Hinata watched as Uchiha Sasuke, the top of the class, take that statement by the new student. Sasuke gave a split-second glare to Naruto before sitting down again. She noticed the subtle change in tone Naruto had. His voice was warm and happy, Naruto would laugh aloud. But now his voice is deep, serious, and demanding too. This was somewhat sexy. Thinking about all this, she looked at the blonde boy and saw a great leader in him. Naruto knew what he wanted and he spoke his mind. He even kept on saying about how he wanted to become Hokage. That sounds unbelievably funny, but if it's Naruto, maybe it will happen. She blushed upon thinking this. Hinata wanted to believe more in Naruto. She was already attracted to the boy even though he was still a mystery. With a tight poker face, Shino just continued to observe. Sasuke was known as a prodigy, rookie of the year, and mostly as the last Uchiha. Now Shino watched that boy submit to the orders of an equal. His bugs noticed a quick flare of fear in Sasuke. This Naruto person is most intriguing. So Naruto, what have you been doing while you weren't here in the village? Seeing the puzzled look of Naruto, Shikamaru chuckled. I wanna know what it's like to be out there. He sighed. You must be free just like the clouds. Well. Not that free, but yay, not like being in a village all the time too. While I was away from the village I traveled with my older brothers. They taught me a lot of cool stuff. Naruto said with a far-out look. Kind of like a long field trip before letting me settle back here again. Regimen here in Konoha is still the best. He grinned. If you were taught, why didn't you just join for the exams? Classes are a bother. Shikamaru asked. Naruto laughed at Shikamaru's remark. That's true, but I just wanted to know who the ones in my batch were. Naruto said, I don't know a lot of people who are around my age. I don't know a lot of people in Konoha. All those years of traveling has its drawbacks too. We could have all been good friends from the start of academy days, right? Also, Gigi wanted me to do a couple of things. Hinata's eyes softened at Naruto's remark. It sounded sad. Sasuke just faced the other way. Boy, Naruto, how many jutsus do you know anyways? Sasuke rushed to ask the blonde-haired boy. I know how to make buncheons. Naruto said, wiggling his eyebrows at Sasuke funnily. Shikamaru laughed at the sarcastic remark. Naruto sat up and took the sword strapped from his back. I brought this with me today. I've been keeping it at home thinking I should keep things simple. It's great you know how to do kenjutsu, Naruto-kun. She blushed upon realizing she managed to say it out loud. Naruto smiled at her for the compliment. This is special. This sword is built from 2 fangs. For me it's as light as any sword could be, but for you it would be hard to hold for a couple of seconds. Naruto said as he motioned Sasuke to hold the sword. Sasuke took hold of the sword's hilt and his whole body immediately felt heavy. His hands trembled as he struggled to hold the sword. The ground beneath his feet began to crack under the pressure. Breathing heavily, Sasuke let the sword slip from his hands. He felt lightheaded and nauseous. The ground shook at the point of impact. Dust covered the air. Shino's sunglasses was tilted. Shikamaru stood up in panic as the sword almost dropped near him. Hinata's knees buckled as she saw the impact. Naruto just sighed. Ah. He opened his mouth and stared at his sword. The impact was so heavy, the sword stuck out from the ground and made a small crater. This always happened from time to time. The first time it happened was when he first let Kisame take a look at his new sword. In excitement and sheer awe, Kusanagi grabbed the sword from his hand. The hilt of the sword was the only thing that could be seen. Naruto and Kisame then tried to get it out but only failed. Finally, Naruto remembered that chakra strings could hold onto a weapon and control it, so he tried it to his sword. Successfully taking it out from the ground, Naruto took the hilt and decided to not let anyone else hand it. Ever. Naruto proceeded to make a single chakra string from his forefinger. Not even minding the presence around, he just continued what he was doing. He attached the end of the chakra string to the hilt of the sword. With a twitch of his middle finger, Naruto slowly pulled out the blade from the ground. As he walked to the sword and grabbed the hilt, pulling the sword out completely. Naruto sighed. He strapped the sword to his back. Hinata was shocked from the whole thing. She had activated her Byakugan the moment the sword fell. The others were fine, thankfully the sword didn't land on Shikamaru nor Sasuke's feet. However, she saw Naruto make with such control a chakra string from his forefinger. The chakra completely covered the sword as it made contact. Hinata was awed by the display of control. Chakra strings weren't that widely practiced in Konoha. "Nah, Naruto-kun," Hinata exclaimed. Naruto freaked out and realized he had company with him the entire time. Sasuke whipped his head to turn to Naruto, wide eyes and gaping mouth. "Dope. Busted." Akako chuckled. Shino's bugs were restless. The impact of the sword stirred them all up. Shino was now starting to entertain the idea of Naruto being a spy. Because this mysterious blonde boy just suddenly popped out of nowhere, joined their graduating class, and displayed skill beyond their expected level as academy students. He is also to be close to the Hokage. Left the village in the age of 5, he had trained all this time before he came back to Konoha. Finally, he just brought a sword that was so exaggeratingly heavy it created a crater on the ground. And let's not turn a blind eye on the chakra control he just exhibited. Sasuke was more confused now. Naruto is turning out to be a shady character that Sasuke wanted gone, but Itachi had suggested to befriend Naruto. I shouldn't get on his bad side. This was the tip of the iceberg. Sasuke absolutely knew nothing about Naruto. Naruto hasn't even stayed that long in Konoha already, it's been a rough couple of days. And he knew Itachi. He was with Itachi this entire time. Sasuke's brows furrowed. Uh-oh. You hit. Uh-oh. That is your fault. Even by now you still don't use your brain before you do something. It's your problem. You solve it. You're so mean, Ni-chan. Naruto then decided to just blurt out whatever excuse he could come up with. Whoops. Naruto said. Right now he just wanted to flicker out and escape. I am so stupid. What was that? Sasuke took out a kunai, dropping to a fighting stance. Calm down, Sasuke. Shikamaru exclaimed, he didn't want things to get out of hand fast. That was something, it was definitely not nothing. Naruto said, rubbing the back of his head. Naruto, that sounded really dumb. We saw what you did, Naruto. We want an explanation. Shikamaru demandingly said, eyes glaring at Naruto. This is troublesome. Naruto-kun. Hinata managed to say even though she was lightheaded. Ujiji. Help me. Come on, I helped you this morning. Naruto shouted towards the sky. In the Hokage's room you are on your own, Naruto. You got into this mess. The Hokage said with a sigh as he peered closer to the crystal ball. Gigi. Naruto said falling to his knees crying and I'm tears. Okay, there is no escaping this. He said to himself. Just tell the truth, Naruto. Shino said. Hinata nodded in agreement. I can't really tell you anything right now. I was sworn to secrecy by the Hokage. Okay. He made me promise. Naruto said as he sat crossed legs. I'm really sorry. I'm not trying to hide anything, but I can't tell anything to you guys as well. He said bowing his head while apologizing. In return, how about I train with you guys sometimes? Naruto said looking at the four of them. You guys don't have any regular training schedules. I can definitely do something about that. Shikamaru's posture eased up and had his brows furrowed in confusion. Also, I miss training with my Nai-sans. Naruto added. You? Train us? We're the same age. Sasuke said pissed off. You haven't told us a valid reason for that, Naruto. We're the same age, yes. I get your point. Naruto crossed his arms across his chest and nodded. Same strength, experience and knowledge, no. I wouldn't repeat this. I was trained to my limit starting the age of 5. I was trained by 6 persons that are almost cage level and beyond. Being trained since that age, I surpassed them. Naruto said getting angry, especially my brothers. Sasuke internally gawked at this statement, thinking Naruto actually defeated Itachi. Naruto paused for a whole minute. Oops, I gave away another clue. Stupid. I'm not going to comment anymore. This is all you, Naruto. So, who wants to join training? Naruto happily shouted as if he didn't say anything before. They face planted, cue a bird crowing ahoo. Naruto-kun, tell us the reason the next time, okay? When you can. Hinata said, easing up her posture too. See, since it's a promise with the Hokage. You know, I think you have a problem in the brain dope. Sasuke whispered under his breath. Training is troublesome. But there's nothing to do than sleep and watch the clouds, so I'll just join. Shikamaru said lying down again. Naruto just sweat dropped. This guy is as lazy as a rock, but he has minimal motivation. That's enough to work with. Also, I want to stick around and know what is up with you. He added. Okay, fair point. Naruto said, acknowledging both Hinata and Shikamaru's intent. I will join. Shino said with a nod of his head. There are more things to learn. I'll take the first step. If it's okay with you. I'll join Naruto-kun. Hinata whispered looking down at the ground hiding her upcoming blush. DCH. Fine. Sasuke said. Okay, let's start training tomorrow after class. We have a lot to do. How about let's start with a complete introduction of ourselves. Name, age, likes, dislikes, hobbies, training schedules, specialization. Naruto said I'll go first. Next would be Gloomy Boy. Naruto Uzumaki. 13 years old. I have many likes, mostly ramen and kicking some bad guy's ass. Dislikes, I have a list of those but mostly pervert, baddies and waiting. Hobbies, I have lots. Training schedule is complicated and specialization none. Naruto said. Specialization none? Shikamaru asked with a raised eyebrow. Yes, none. I have no specialization. Naruto said grinning back. Gloomy Boy next. Uchiha Sasuke. 13 years old. Likes none, dislikes everything. Hobbies include training. Schedule none and specialization to jutsu. Uchihas are good with dealing with Kaiten jutsu and we also possess Sharingan. Sasuke said with a frown. Okay, lazy, you next. Naruto said pointing to Shikamaru, who flinched at the accusation. Lendix na. Nara Shikamaru. 13 years old. I like sleeping and watching the clouds. I dislike troublesome things. Hobby sleeping, watching the clouds and playing Go. Schedule I train with my dad every time he wants to train. Specialization don't know, maybe Jinjutsu or Ninjutsu. The Nara clan specializes in shadow techniques. He said with a sigh. Hyuga, you are next. Then, after will be Yoshino. Hyuga H. Hinata. I am currently 12. I like flowers and making new kinds of ointments. I dislike people who look down on others and people who think others just pull them down. I dislike people who make others sad or cry. Especially, people who force others to do what they don't like to do. My hobby is pressing flowers. Specialization is Taijutsu. Taijutsu is Byakugan. Schedule is every morning I spar with my cousin. The girl said in a low voice. Abiram Shino, I like my bugs. He only said, looking at his hand. I want to be useful. So, main thing is you guys don't have enough training. And clearly, you still don't have specializations. That's okay. We're still Genins, we're supposed to learn more on the field now, while not forgetting to have a lot to work on. Naruto turning his back from them. My dream is to become the greatest Hokage of this village. He said facing them. His smile and a slick smile, full of confidence and enthusiasm. And I never go back on my promises. That is my ninja way. Chuckling, Sasuke stood up and said, my dream is to revive the Uchiha clan and the military police. Shino turned to face all of them and said, my dream is to become a great clan head of the Abiram. Shikamaru chuckled. My dream is to become a medic and to change what the Hyugas are today. She said this time with confidence, her eyes looking sharp. My dream is to live a simple life. He sighed out. Naruto's brows furrowed at Shikamaru. Fine. Troublesome but to be the head of intelligence and defense in Konoha. Shikamaru said in a surprisingly not lazy tone. It's going to take a lot of work though. He added, somewhat dismayed by the amount of underlying work it entailed. Hinata couldn't help but giggle at the remark. Our bonds with one another makes us stronger. Our dreams make us strive more. Naruto said. Love keeps us sane and hope makes us rise from ground. Hinata said. Courage helps us face obstacles in the way. Sasuke said. Knowledge helps us decide what is right and wrong. Shikamaru said. Calmness helps us think straight. Shino said. You guys are so cool. Naruto said with stars in his eyes. We're all going to strive harder. Konoha isn't prepared for what's coming. Naruto snickered out. Shikamaru already looked tired. What did I get myself into? He thought to himself. Troublesome, let's do it. He said out loud, looked at Naruto and gave a single confident nod. Hinata looked at the two boys exchange an invisible pact. Things were going to be different from then on. All of them stood there facing one another. Starting from now on, they would be true to themselves and their dreams. Early in the morning, the academy was expecting the same thing to happen. Students come in and the class becomes noisier. Sakura and Ino race inside the classroom and then fight over something. But today was different. Today the entire academy was shocked to its core. Today is the day that everything was quiet. Q Blackbird. AHOOO, AHOOO. Shikamaru, who always says that taking tests or answering questions are troublesome to do, now shows excitement in learning. He answers the tests that are given to him by Iruka. Hinata, known to be the very shy, now spoke up. The stuttering stopper and her annoying jacket was nowhere to be seen. Seeing her wear a fitting purple shirt made the boys blush. The girls started to get annoyed at the new Hinata. Shino, the stoic and quiet one, now talks with his seatmate, who is utterly shocked but happy. He talks a lot more and now and then gives a small laugh that makes everyone except Naruto, Sasuke, Hinata and Shikamaru scared. Believe it or not, Iruka now has a phobia because of him. Naruto, the newest student who is completely unknown and is expected to be great and very advanced, now acted like a brainless idiot. He shouted a lot more. Picked fights with Kiba or Sasuke now and then. When asked to answer something, all he does is smile, and then he laughs at the question, saying that this is so stupid. Finally he sits down and sleeps. Iruka had to shout at him over and over again just to get his attention. Sasuke, the last Uchiha and known to have the biggest head in the class, suddenly decided to deflate his humongous head. Now acting more friendly and socialized, Sasuke dropped the emo mask. Smiling now and then he looked more easily talked to. But his attitude didn't change when it came to his fangirls, especially to Sakura and Ino. He wasn't totally harsh. Keyword totally. 5 students suddenly changing personalities was quite a shock for the graduating batch. Well, maybe it was a good change for them, but still it is quite a shocker. Poor Iruka. Lunch break. Sasuke, Naruto and Hinata was sitting and talking about the upcoming training when suddenly Sakura came in and intruded. Sasuke-un, will you go out with me? Sakura said while battling her eyelashes like crazy. Does your eye hurt? Don't you have memory space in your brain? I just said my answer to you this morning. I said no. Can't you understand a simple no? Sasuke said, then turned around to face Naruto and Hinata. Hey guys, how about we grab something to eat? Sasuke said. His eyes showing. Yeah, sure, how about you, Hinata-chan? Naruto said while trying to compress a laugh. Well, since we are going to grab something to eat, why not invite Shikamaru and Shino-san to come with us? Sasuke nodded. Sakura was now growling with anger. It would be fun to hang with you guys, Shikamaru said while Shino nodded. Well, let's go, Naruto said as the three of them stood up and left while Shino and Shikamaru followed behind. Why is that Hinata surrounded by boys? I know she has a nice body, but she isn't that beautiful. Someday I'll be the one with those boys, Sakura thought as she growled even louder, scaring off some of her classmates. The group was laughing so hard that people around them looked at them like they were crazy. Naruto, trying to imitate Sakura's voice, said to Sasuke. Sasuke-un, will you go out with me? Naruto said while imitating Sakura's battling eyelashes. Sasuke was red with embarrassment. Shut up, Naruto. Sasuke said angrily as he tried to fight the blush. The group laughed louder and harder. Heck, Shino laughed like crazy. Ha 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 ha. You should have seen your fa si ha 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 ha. Hinata said while laughing. Ha ha ha. Naruto tried to stop laughing. All the laughing we did made me hungry, I'm coming ramen. Naruto said. The others' sweat dropped as they watched Naruto run at full speed to Ichiraku's. Duchi Jiji. Naruto said as he took a seat with a wide grin. Well aren't you pumped up so much Naruto? Tucci said with a hearty laugh. One mizo for me Jiji-san. Naruto grinned. Tucci giving a thumbs up. Naruto you dope. Sasuke said as he came in the stall breathing deeply. Sasuke. You run too slow. Naruto said. You're the one who runs so fast. Sasuke shouted standing up. Well I guess I need to improve your guys' speed. Naruto smiled. Ugh Sasuke said as he sat down and banged his head to the table. Naruto laughed at him. Nah Naruto. Hinata whispered as she came in the stall just like Sasuke. After a while Shino and Shikamaru came in with no trace of sweat. The two just walked going to Ichiraku's. Shikamaru thought it would be troublesome to run and catch up. HMPH you guys are too slow. Naruto said as he finished his second bowl of ramen. One special ramen Jiji. Naruto shouted excitedly. Sasuke's and Hinata's eyes was as huge as dinner plates. Watching Naruto eat made them sick. They didn't have the energy to yell at him anymore. Naruto you dope Sasuke said while Naruto smiled innocently. The group ate slowly except for Naruto. They constantly shouted at Naruto telling him to slow down or else. Naruto who didn't like the or else part just followed their orders. And that was some good ramen Shino said as he stood up. Class starts in 20 minutes, we have to go now or we'll be late. Shikamaru said as he put his pay on the table so did Shino and Sasuke. Naruto-kun let's go. Hinata said as she followed the others. You go first. I'll catch up Naruto said as he tried to find his money. Where did I put it? In your back pocket Naruto Akako said. Putting his money on the table and shouting goodbye to Tucci-san Naruto walked out of the stall. A windmill shuriken flew by. Naruto immediately puffed on his blue coat. An attacker. Naruto thought. Growling inside. Naruto stay calm. Akako reminded him. Now wearing his famous blue coat Naruto's face was clearly hidden. Facing the direction where the windmill shuriken came from Naruto saw an Anbu. Wearing a half-tiger mask, the attacker was standing on a pole. Jumping down and running at full speed at Naruto he pulled out a dagger. Naruto who saw it was poisonous, took out some of his senbon. Releasing the senbons at the Anbu Naruto quickly formed chakra strings. Shocked to see a technique like that the Anbu couldn't quickly react until the last second. 2 hits, one on the right shoulder and the other one on the left arm. With one twitch of the middle finger the 2 senbons spun as if drilling into the shoulder and arm. The pain the Anbu felt left the ninja in a moment of weakness. One step of Naruto's left foot the ground broke and shattered. A crack was now done. Such amazing abilities the Anbu thought. The jutsu is my only hope. If I use ninjutsu I will attract more people. Naruto said as he looked left and right. The group of people had started gathering. This is not good. Jinjutsu might work but it would be hard for me to do. Use your sword Naruto Akako suggested. That would be too much. I'll just knock this guy out and disappear like the wind. Naruto seeing the Anbu stand up and pull out another windmill shuriken, ran full speed. He kicked the Anbu on the lower abdomen. The windmill shuriken was released from the grasp of the Anbu. With a chakra-powered punch Naruto punched him on the chest, making it hard to breathe. The Anbu fell to the floor. Naruto disappeared in thin air with no traces. The group was walking slowly to the academy when the ground shook. The group immediately stopped. Guys don't you think Naruto ran into some trouble? He should be here right now Hinata said in a worried tone. Maybe you are correct Hinata-san Shino said while raising an eyebrow. Let's go back and get him. He probably left his wallet or money in his house. Typical dope Sasuke said turning around and going back to the direction they just walked. I see people gathering over there. Hinata shouted, Byakugan eyes revealed. She was clearly worried. The group ran and spotted a crowd of people gathering. Shikamaru looking around trying to find Naruto, found him in an alley. Naruto why are you here? Shikamaru asked with a curious eyebrow raised. Ugh I wanted to avoid the crowd that was gathering. Naruto replied, this made Shikamaru even more curious. Sasuke who was also curious, asked the people who was gathered in the area. Hey, what happened here? Sasuke asked a man who was standing there in the crowd. An Anbu and a man fought. The people who got here earlier said that the famous blue ghost was the one that Anbu fought with. The man whispered to Sasuke. Why did they say that the man was the blue ghost? He tried to get more info. The man was seen wearing a blue coat with black linings, just like what the blue ghost wears. The man even escaped from the fight by disappearing like the wind. Is the Anbu alive? Sasuke asked curious about the well-being the Anbu. I don't know the man then walked away going back to his normal doings. Sasuke-kun, let's go. Hinata shouted while waving her hands in the air. But the grunt Shikamaru left not very pleased with the little information he got. Walking towards the group Shikamaru tried to piece together all the information he got. An Anbu and a man fought. The attacker known as the Blue Ghost. That earthquake was made by the Blue Ghost. Why will the Blue Ghost be inside Konoha? How could have he gotten in? If the Anbu fought the blue ghost, why wasn't there any backup? How could have the Hokage not know this? And to top all of this, when this fight happened, where did Naruto go? Why did he end up in the alleyway? Ugh. This is getting more troublesome than he expected. Walking with the others, the group was silent. Questions was running through their minds. Shikamaru was trying to solve this big problem. Sasuke tried to listen to more gossip murmuring from the villagers. Shino gathered his bugs for information. Hinata, who kept thinking where Naruto went this whole time. Naruto, who was as nervous as hell, tried to keep it cool. Time skip. After dismissal. Meeting place. The blue ghost. Hinata whispered to herself, how could he have gotten in? She added, S-class criminal. Leader of the group known as Azure Shino said out loud, a very deadly person. Naruto, who was listening, became nervous. Breathing heavily, Naruto thought of an activity. Tree climbing. Light bulb. Well guys. To start your training, let's start with your chakra control. Naruto grinned. I'm sure Hinata-chan has great chakra control, Naruto said. Hinata blushing at the compliment. That's why I need the rest of you to catch up and level up to Hinata-chan's level. Chakra control is very important. The better control you have, the better you can perform and execute jutsus. It will also help minimize the chakra you waste. We will start with tree climbing. Naruto grinned. Tree climbing? Sasuke said with a raised eyebrow. Naruto proceeded to the nearest tree and walked up with no sweat. This is what you are gonna do today. Tree climbing is done by releasing chakra to the bottom of your feet. The tricky part of this is when you can't control the amount you release. If you release a small amount, you will slip. If you release too much, the tree will crack, or worse, it may explode. Naruto explained as he walked to the nearest branch and stood upside down. To control the amount of chakra released on the foot is hard, Hinata said as she looked at Naruto. Byakugan turned on. What Hinata said is true. It is hard at first, but you'll get the hang of it. Naruto flashed a wide grin. Jumping down, for the others he seemed to be floating, Naruto gave each of them a kunai. Mark the tree. It would be better if you start by running up. That would give you a nice boost, Naruto said as he climbed up a tree and sat down on a branch. Sasuke barely started. The tree exploded because of the great chakra inserted. You better lessen the chakra you release, Sasuke. Naruto said. Well, Sasuke nodded, then tried again. Shikamaru and Shino got the hang of it at the first try. Walking up a few meters was good for first-timers. Hinata, on the other hand, was a natural. She was now almost to the part where Naruto was. Running slowly, Hinata marked the tree. She almost reached half of it. Damn, Hinata is beating me. Sasuke thought as he watched Hinata. Boy Sasuke. If you are wondering why you aren't good with chakra control, that means you have large amounts of chakra. You could ask some help from Hinata, Naruto said, laughing. Hinata here just has fair amount of chakra, which makes it easier for her to control. HN Sasuke said as he walked to Hinata. Sasuke-san, do you need any help? Hinata asked. Sasuke nodded, a small blush appearing on his cheeks. Okay. Go run up that tree, then I'll view the amount of chakra you are releasing with my Byakugan, Hinata said. Sasuke followed and ran up a tree. He ran about 2 meters when the tree exploded. I see your problem now, Sasuke-san, Hinata said. You released too much chakra. You should relax your tense muscles. Be calm. Hinata said as she motioned him to run back again. The next try Sasuke made was quite an improvement. He reached up to 1/4 of the tree running up. He stopped when he slipped, marking the tree. When Sasuke landed, he gave Hinata a small smile. Thanks for the advice. Naruto, seeing Sasuke improve, smiled. Shino was now walking up the tree, reaching about 1/4. Shikamaru, on the other hand, was now resting on one of the low tree branch. Silence was what he heard. He could feel an unknown chakra signature. It was closing on them with amazing speed. Hey guys. How about we move to my place and train there instead? Naruto shouted. The others meekly nodded. Hold on to me and I'll teleport us there, Naruto said. Akatsuki. Naruto shouted as they disappeared by a cloud of smoke. Namikaze's garden. They dropped to the ground as if they fell from the sky. One by one, standing up, cleaning their attire to rid the dust. Naruto looked around as if he hasn't been able to go to this place yet. We have a garden this big, Naruto said as he looked at the place. Lush green grass covered the garden. A large pond was found. Small waterfalls were seen around the pond. Cascading waters fell. Trees of different sizes were seen. Benches were found and a marble walkway was sighted. The group awed at the display looked at Naruto with big shocked eyes. You have a garden this big? Sasuke shouted. Don't ask me, I also didn't know. Naruto shouted back. How can you not know? Have you never been here? Shino asked, getting a nod of the head from Naruto. Well, since there are trees over there, you guys can go practice over there while I try to find the door to my house. Naruto rubbed the back of his head. Separating from the group, Naruto tried to find the way out of this garden. Walking around, Naruto found no sign of a door near. He sighed. Why was this place big anyways? He gave a loud grunt. Continuing his walk, he found himself thinking. The first time he came here there was no sign that there was a garden at the back of the house. Which could only mean that this is an indoor garden. But how could this be an indoor garden when there are clouds seen above? He could even see the sky. Jinjutsu. He tried to cancel it. No changes were seen. Walking around he found a small sign, Mystic Garden, the sign said. Naruto looked at the back of the sign. A scroll was seen. Grabbing it and opening it he read it. Mystic Garden. Anyone who reads this is currently inside the Mystic Garden. This magical place is a place owned by the clan Namikaze. This is a very unique place. This was made by the first Namikazes for training and relaxing. For this purpose they made this garden undetectable and very hard to go by the other people. This is a dimension the Namikazes made with their great power. The only way to go here is to teleport. If you are wondering how to go out, just teleport back out again. Only the one with Namikaze blood may go in and may see this magical place. For protection, anyone who doesn't carry the blood of the Namikaze will immediately fall into a deep sleep. To awaken those who fall in this trap, they will need to prove themselves true to the Namikaze. They will forever be blessed by the Namikaze blood. Naruto was shocked. He needed to go and get them out of this now. He raced back to the trees. To see his friends lying on the grassy ground he became worried. What if they wouldn't wake up? To prove themselves true to the Namikaze. A test. Naruto thought. The train of thought cut. He fell into the darkness. Unknown place. He stood up and quietly looked at his surroundings. He only found darkness. He tried to run, a ray of light shone. He stepped out of the darkness. He found himself in a grassy field. He walked to the center. He found nothing. The earth shook. He saw his friends appearing. They looked terrible. They were chained together in a straight line. From left to right. Shino was seen with Shikamaru, who was next to Hinata and Sasuke. They looked tired and sleepy. Naruto tried to go to them. Walking slowly, coming to their help. Naruto froze. Unknown place. He stood up and quietly looked at his surroundings. He only found darkness. He tried to run, a ray of light shone. He stepped out of the darkness. He found himself in a grassy field. He walked to the center. He found nothing. The earth shook. He saw his friends appearing. They looked terrible. They were chained together in a straight line. From left to right. Shino was seen with Shikamaru, who was next to Hinata and Sasuke. They looked tired and sleepy. Naruto tried to go to them. Walking slowly, coming to their help. Naruto froze. Thank for all the people who added this story to their favorite and alert list, and thank you also for all the reviewers. Haha, some got pissed because of the Cliffy. Anyways, please continue to read my story. Have fun reading. A huge roar boomed and the ground shook because of the impact. Dust flew covering the whole area. Nothing could be seen. Naruto stood completely frozen. His seal was pulsing and he didn't know why. As the earth tried to calm down, a deep growl was heard. The presence leaked with evil and the chakra that it released was dark. Naruto didn't know what to do. He knew that the possibility of Kyuubi being the one released was high, but he didn't want to think that she really was the one released. Naruto. The Kako ni-chan. Naruto shouted. Why did you release me? I thought I told you to never do that. The Kako shouted. BB, but I didn't. I didn't even know that you were released. Naruto said. TCH, this place gives me the creeps. Akako said as she stepped out of the dust in her full Kyuubi form. The others shouted. The others couldn't follow with the conversation. How could Naruto know the Kyuubi? Why is the Kyuubi alive? Did Naruto do this? Was Naruto really just a spy from outside trying to kidnap them? Did he just trick them all this time? Released. What did that mean? Questions flooded their minds. They couldn't help but agree to some. They tried their best to not think that this was all a lie and Naruto was the enemy. Hinata shivered in fear and Shikamaru tried his best to puzzle all the pieces. Naruto ran to Akako's side. He quickly ran through some seals, trying to turn her sister to her human form. Naruto, stop. I think I could do just fine in this form. No need to worry, Akako said. But Ni-chan, are you sure? Naruto asked in a worried tone. Yes, I am. Now stop being such a worrier and help your friends. They are in bigger trouble than I am, Akako said, giving Naruto one of her fox smiles. Okay, Naruto replied as he walked to his friends, his hand scratching the back of his head. Hey guys, Naruto said, I thought all of you would never wake up. I'm glad to see all of you are safe, he added as he smiled a smile of relief. Naruto. The beast. The Kyuubi, it's there. Behind you. Sasuke shouted, fear clearly showing in his eyes. Calm down, Sasuke. I'm going to explain everything to you. Even though I promised I wouldn't tell this to anyone, I know that you guys would understand this, Naruto said as he looked at the ground. 13 years ago Kyuubi didn't exactly die. A human couldn't possibly kill an immortal being. An immortal being like Kyuubi, or when I call her Akako Ni-chan. Naruto grinned, the others gasped. Ni-chan? Kyuubi is a girl. Shikamaru shouted. HMPH, of course I am. Akako said with a growl, making Shikamaru regret what he said. Continuing, even someone of great power, the fourth Hokage, couldn't possibly slay an immortal. And so the only thing he could do was seal Ni-chan off. He used a sacrificial jutsu to seal her. A sacrificial jutsu means that he could seal Ni-chan off in trade of his life. With this the Kyuubi was stored in a newborn baby. October 10 it was. That was also my birthday. Father sacrificed 2 lives that night, his own life and the life of his only son. Naruto said looking at them. The others didn't know what to say. Hinata cried as she listened to the story. Why you are the baby UW we were mentioning? Sasuke stuttered. He was shocked when he saw the Kyuubi, but he almost fainted when Naruto said that the Kyuubi was an immortal that couldn't be killed. Yes. Yes, I am, Naruto said as he bowed his head. Not wanting to see the faces of his friends. You're the son of the 4th. Shino shouted as the others gasped seeing Naruto slowly nod. How? Hinata whispered. By sealing the Kyuubi in me, my father didn't need to sacrifice someone else's baby. A baby just born into the world is considered the most pure souls. Sealing the Kyuubi in me clarified that Nichan's soul would most likely be purified as time passed. My father knew of this, and as a result he created the seal to help the purification. As time passes, Kyuubi's red chakra will slowly be added to mine. In the age of 20, Nichan will completely be merged to me. Naruto explained her lifespan, knowledge and power will be added to mine, he added, and ended with a sigh. Naruto, when you say it like that, you make it sound like as if being the next Kyuubi is hell, Akako said with a smirk. The others gasped. You're the next Kyuubi? Shino shouted at Naruto. These slight Kyuubi are immortal, but they still need heirs to replace them. Naruto stated. So to sum it up. Naruto here is the 4th second son, and he is the Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi. And he is also the heir to the Kyuubi throne. Well, that seems to fit the puzzle, Shikamaru said. He lived here in Konoha when he was 5. Treated badly by the townsfolk, he ran away and lived outside till he was old enough to come back and join the ninja ranks. The Hokage, obviously knowing the truth, agreed to that condition. Shikamaru let out a sigh of relief. And here I thought your secret was more bigger, he added. I had a suspicion that you were the blue ghost. Shikamaru let a small laugh. You went through that alleyway to avoid the people, didn't you? So that they won't know you're back. He smiled. Well, now that was a nice mystery solved, Shikamaru said. I guess I agree with Shikamaru, Sanshino said as he laughed. I thought you were a spy from outside, he added, but I guess everything you think is not true. I'm glad you still came back to Konoha, Naruto-kun. Even though the villagers hated you, you still wanted to come back. Hinata smiled. Why, you guys, aren't you scared? Or angry at me? Naruto asked, stuttering the whole way. Clearly they aren't, Naruto. I was the one who did all the nasty stuff. You're just my holder. You didn't do anything and you weren't involved in the killing, Akako said. Now that the explaining is done. Naruto, you could turn me into human now, Akako grinned. Sure, Nichan. Naruto quickly made the seals Kakatamashi. Kai. Naruto said. Minutes later a beautiful lady stood in the place where the gigantic Kyuubi stood. Kyuubi? The 4 said in unison. You could stop the whole shock thing. My name is Akako the Kyuubi. Nice to meet you all. Now I see why Maya Tauto likes this group so much, she said with a smile, making them blush. The light appeared and the chain broke away. On the right arm of the 4 a seal appeared. A small swirl was seen. The sun shone in the place and the ground shook. 4 had passed the test, quite a rarity indeed. You have proven yourself trustworthy and loyal to the Namikas and Uzumaki. And all of you shall be granted power to explore the secrets of these clans. If they shall break the trust of thy clan, thou shall face the consequences. A voice seemed to boom all over the place. More secrets will be soon unlocked. Know each other well. Trust and put faith in each other. Until the time comes, we wait your next return. Hinata quickly hugged Naruto as she was freed. Naruto, who didn't know what to do, returned the hug. The other 3 smirked while Akako laughed a hearty laugh. Hearing so they quickly separated, both blushing tomatoes. Wow, Naruto, I knew you were quick, but I didn't think it would be this quick. Akako said with a laugh at the end. Oh, shut up, Naruto whispered, facing the other way. Well, looks like the training didn't work out as planned, Shikamaru said. Yes, it looks like it didn't, Shino agreed with a nod of the head. We still have tomorrow, you know, Sasuke said as he disagreed. Yeah, we know. How troublesome, Shikamaru said with a sigh. TCH. Lazy boys. You 3 should learn how to train more. Even though you are still in the academy, you should try to make most of your time. Akako said while the 3 boys nodded their heads vigorously, making Hinata laugh. Let's make up for the lost time tomorrow. Naruto announced. And Sasuke, I got something to give you. Make sure you don't lose these, Naruto said as he took the scrolls he got the other day and gave them to Sasuke. Those are jutsu scrolls. I'm sure you already know how to use fire jutsus. Give these back when you are done, then I'll give you a new set of jutsus to learn, Naruto grinned. Ichi has our naturals in using fire jutsus, but I also thought that there is a possibility that you may have an affinity for lightning too. I'm talking about affinities, tomorrow I'll test you 4 on which element is your affinity, Naruto added. But Naruto, make sure you train their chakra control first before you train them elemental jutsus, Akako reminded him. Yeah, sure thing, Nichan, Naruto smiled. Do you always roam out free, Akako-san? Shikamaru asked. No. Most of the time I'm in my seal. Akako said with a grin. You created that seal, Naruto? The one that made Akako-san come out, Hinata asked. Yay. One of my original seals, Naruto grinned while the other's sweat dropped. When you act like that it makes me think that you are just making this up, Sasuke whispered to himself. So the day ends here, people. I'll teleport us back out, then be sure to get a good night's sleep. Tomorrow we will seriously start training, Naruto announced. After teleporting back out of the garden, the group separated and went on each own ways. Days in the academy were starting to get out of hand more and more on each passing day. Mizuki started to get weirder and weirder as the final day came. He started on shouting random stuff, especially when he talked to Naruto, who was totally not listening. The other four worried for their friend, something definitely didn't look and sound right. The group trained hard. Every afternoon they trained at Naruto's training grounds, not wanting anyone to get suspicious. Tree climbing proved to be a great challenge to Sasuke, Shikamaru and Shino. They were able to master it in 3 days, yipping in total happiness as they overcame that challenge. Naruto, who was a slave driver, made them do it again and again. Up they walked the tree, down they walked again. An endless walk, their chakra control was better than before, and this also made their chakra reserves bigger. Hinata on the other hand started on her water walking exercise, proving to be a natural at chakra control. Her affinity was water, and that clearly helped out a lot when she first started on the exercise. She had to master it in a week. Seeing Naruto do it with perfect ease made her strive more. She wanted to be as good as Naruto when it came to chakra control. The day that Naruto introduced to Hinata water walking exercise. Since you already know tree climbing, I thought of something harder for you. Water walking is the exercise that would be right for you. Since you have the affinity for water, I thought that if you did this, you could start on trying to learn how to do Suiton jutsus and such, Naruto said with a grin. This exercise is harder compared to the tree climbing. You need to constantly change the amount of chakra you release, Naruto added as he showed Hinata how to do it. He walked on the water as if it were still the ground. He ran and skated on the water. And to make it all more intriguing, he laid down on the water. Hinata, who had her Byakugan on, was completely amazed by the control he had. Hinata Naruto was there standing at the middle of the pond waving his hand and shouting her name. Hinata completely blushed. The day after the Mystic Garden trip, Naruto had tested their affinities. Shikamaru had an affinity for earth as the paper crumbled into dust. Shino also too had an affinity for earth. Oten jutsus then? Naruto asked to himself as the two boys looked at each other. This proves an advantage to both of you. For Shino this could help him find more of his bugs. And for Shikamaru this could be used to help him in his shadow techniques, Naruto said. Well then, of with the basics. Naruto grinned as the two sighed. Sasuke, who clearly had an affinity for fire, also had the affinity for lightning. The paper crumbled up then ignited. Naruto, who was watching, laughed out loud. The haha lightning. This is so rich. Haha, Naruto laughed out loud. What's the problem, dope? Sasuke asked. He was starting to get pissed. Lightning is weak against wind. My affinity is wind, Naruto said with pure glee. And then? I'm still gonna beat you, dope. Sasuke shouted, sounding totally pissed. Just you wait till I get my Sharingan. He whispered to himself. Wait. I still have my fire affinity. So that makes you weaker than me, Sasuke said with a smirk. And then I care? No, Naruto said with his tongue out. Well then start practicing cause you are gonna need it. Naruto grinned as Sasuke face palmed. Hinata had an affinity for water which was uncommon for a Hyuga. Hyugas always had Doton for their affinities which mixed well with their hard Taijutsu style. Hinata, who didn't like the stiff and hard Taijutsu of the Hyuga, liked her Taijutsu to be graceful and soft. Often commented that she looked like she was dancing. I knew there was something unique about you, Hinata, Naruto said with a smile, which made the young girl blush. Unlike most Hyugas, you have the affinity of water. He added. Water? That's good. I don't really like Doton jutsus, they are stiff. Hinata said while poking her fingers together. Yeah, I know that. This fits well with your Taijutsu, your graceful moves flows well with the water. Naruto said. Hinata blushed like a tomato at the compliment. Well then let's start with the basics. Naruto shouted excitedly. If you're wondering how Naruto managed to teach them all in one time. He used his famous Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. All 4 of them was taught by one Kage Bunshin and also had a daily spar with 5 Bunshins. Naruto trained while the 4 of them was taught. He made his daily routine. 1,000 push-ups, sit-ups, curl-ups and squats. While training he increased his chakra weights found on his ankles and wrists. He made bombs and exploded them here and there causing shock to the other 4. They haven't really seen the mouth things yet cause Naruto always put Jinjutsus over them. He also cleans his puppets while the 4 are busy and away. Casting Jinjutsu around him so that no one would see his puppets, he silently makes changes on them and makes sure they are well oiled. Naruto didn't want to try practicing with his sword cause he was sure that it could cause tremendous damage to his practice grounds. Shikamaru and Shino learned defensive Doton jutsus. Naruto insisted that they needed to learn how to defend themselves first by using their affinities before knowing how to use them on offensive. The 2 of them had no choice but to follow his order. The jutsu Earth Release Earth-style wall is one of the jutsu that Naruto taught. Despite the massive chakra needed to use this technique, Naruto was sure that it was safe for them to use. The two of them needed to double their practice on tree climbing, hearing from Naruto that they still needed to increase their chakra reserves. There was also two drank jutsus that Naruto taught them. Oten. Tamaturium Earth Release. Bullet Shower. One of the easiest but most offensive jutsu that Naruto taught them. By gathering chakra on their foot and releasing it to the ground, it creates a rock bullet shower to go from the ground and propel upwards with an amazing force. This has a radius of only 5 meters, which is quite short. The chakra needed is amazingly small, but given the radius of the jutsu it is to be expected. Naruto, who tried the technique, said that if more chakra was to be released, then expect a stronger and wider range of attack. Oten. Raku Sentu Earth Release. Rock Punch, a harder technique which covers the fists of the user and hardens it. This is an advantage for Taijutsu, but has a disadvantage that slows down the user. Sasuke had learned all the 3 jutsus Naruto gave him earlier, but still needed practice because it was still hard for him to completely control it. Pain. Ryu Kami Keen Fire Release. Dragon God Blaze, a simple fireball that was as hot as a meteor. Katen. Sankai Gakkaku Fire Release. 3 great fireballs from the known technique Katen. Nkakuk no Jutsu. This is a harder and improvised technique. From the original technique, only one big fireball can be released. By this improvised technique, 3 great fireballs could be released at the same time. Raitensu no T Lightning Release. Electric Hand. This simple technique makes the user's touch shocking. This technique has the time span of 1 minute. In that matter of time, anything the user comes in contact with will be shocked or electrified. On with Hinata, she squeezed all of the teachings Naruto gave her. She practiced more than the boys. She was a natural at controlling water. Her chakra reserves greatly increased, and by this her confidence increased. There were 2 jutsus that Naruto taught and one that she improvised. Izu Bunshin no Jutsu Water Clone Technique. A Bunshin no Jutsu, in which the user creates clones of him or herself made out of water. Suiton. Nuwakum Water Release. Rain Shower. As seen in the name, this jutsu causes rain shower in a radius of 1 kilometer. This puts the user in advantage as to that water will be more accessible to him or her. Disadvantage is that it takes a lot of time to complete the jutsu. More chakra, wider radius. Suiton. Turium Water Release. Bullet Shower. Hinata thought that if there was a Doton jutsu like that, it would be possible to create a Suiton type of it. Although it is still in progress, Naruto greatly agreed with her. Naruto was proud of them. Within a week they have changed greatly and achieved many. Shikamaru didn't seem to have a lazy bone in him anymore. Shino had a more sociable air around him. Sasuke has deflated his large oversized head and finally didn't seek any revenge. Hinata was now more confident about herself and she now knew how to stand her ground. But the exams coming up in 3 days, all they needed to do was relax and wait for the big day. Inside Naruto's house after practice. "Boy, Naruto, do you have anything else to eat around here?" Sasuke asked as he tried to find some food in Naruto's ramen stack. "Why would I eat anything else? I love ramen," Naruto said with a grin. "Shesh, that's not good for you at all," Shikamaru said with a sigh. I could make something for all of us," Hinata volunteered. All boys looked at her. I cook sometimes at home when nobody is around," she ended with a gulp. "Really? You don't mind?" Naruto said excitedly as the other boys looked at each other. "If you have the ingredients." Hinata said. HM, then let's go buy some ingredients." Naruto said happily with no other care. "What?" The other 3 boys shouted. "Got a problem?" Naruto said as he stared at the boy's eyes with intensity. "Nope," Shino said. "None," Shikamaru said, and a shake of the head was gotten from Sasuke. But Naruto sang. He walked past Hinata and grabbed her hand as the 2 of them marched out the Namikaze household. "Come on guys. Better to follow him than make him angry. I don't want to do any more push-ups and curl-ups, my body is aching," Shikamaru said as he ran off to follow them. The 2 boys looked at each other and nodded. They ran off. Naruto and Hinata walked calmly to the store as the other 3 followed at the back. All of them were silent, maybe from the training. "I bet all of you are tired." "I'm tired also," Naruto said with a grin. "Training with all of you is tiring, but with all that results we got, I don't mind at all," he added. "So what are you going to cook, Hinata-chan?" he asked with an eyebrow raised. "What do you want?" Hinata replied. "Sushi," Shino said, making all of them look at him. Silence washed over them and then a loud eruption of laughter was heard. "Alright then, sushi it is," Naruto said as Hinata nodded. "Naruto, about the mission the Hokage gave you. What is it about?" Shikamaru asked as his curiosity. "It's about nothing you should know. It's not that it's important anyway," Naruto replied. "If it's not that important, why not just tell us?" Sasuke said. "Look, it's just about observing our batch, okay? Happy now?" Naruto said with annoyed tone. "PCH. Fine," Sasuke said. They quickly bought the ingredients and went back to the mansion. Eating was a lot of fun cause Shino seemed to inhale every sushi Hinata made. Hinata said that Shino was the Naruto version for sushi. While the others were eating in peace, Naruto seemed to take every bite with curiosity. This would be his first time to eat sushi. After eating, the boys showered Hinata with compliments saying that they enjoyed their meal than usual. As to Naruto, he said that if it would be possible he would like to eat sushi again. This scared the hell out of them. As for Hinata, she gladly agreed to make the snacks for everybody. Shino and Hinata quickly went home after. I'm gonna go. Mom is so gonna kill me, Shikamaru sighed as he said goodbye and went home too. Naruto, you stay here all by yourself, right? Sasuke asked, getting a nod. Yeah, just like you. How about you stay here with me? It would be fun to have someone else in here. Naruto smiled. I'll think about it, Sasuke said as he went home too. Now I have to get a good night's rest, Naruto said as quickly went to his room and went to bed. 3 days have come and gone. The group had spent it on studying for the test and relaxing. With all the training they have done, it was good for their bodies to take a rest. They still had to do their daily exercises though. As promised, Hinata always cooked their snacks after they trained. The boys couldn't get enough of her delicious meals. Boy Naruto, tomorrow is finally the big day. No more boring lectures, Sasuke said. Yay, finally I'm gonna be an official ninja. Naruto said. Official? Shikamaru asked. Yay. I had no official rank of a ninja, even though I almost beat many class nins, Naruto replied. I had a title, but not a rank, so that made me go back here, he added. A title? Seems to be a fitting piece. Man, this guy is one hard puzzle. Shikamaru thought. Tomorrow we will all be official ninjas of Konohagakure. Naruto shouted in joy as he grinned his full grin. I wonder whose team I'll be placed in with. Hinata muttered, causing Naruto to smile even more. Genin exams. Today we will have 3 tests. A written exam, shuriken and kunai test, and your ninjutsu test, Iruka announced. We will start off with a written exam, and then we'll proceed outside for the next test, he added. Sakura was the one who was expected to finish the test first, always getting the first place in the exams. But on this test, an expected boy finished first. With a speed that rivaled Sakura, Shikamaru had answered the whole thing with a blinding speed of 5 minutes. After that he just slept through the whole thing. Sasuke and Shino answered with speed, but they didn't match up with that of Shikamaru's and Sakura's speed. Hinata had answered the test with no absolute worries and hardship. Naruto, on the other hand, had spent the time sleeping. Snoring on his desk, he didn't even write his name on the paper, saying that he needed to sleep. On with the next exam, it was a competition to see who could throw the most precise and who could throw the farthest. Starting at throwing kunes at 20 meters, all of them had passed. The contest added 5 meters every other round. Slowly the group started to grow smaller. Many had given up when it came to the 40-meter throw. Only the main clan kids were left. To make everything more interesting, they were asked to add 10 meters every other round. At the start of the 50-meter throw, Haruno Sakura, Akimichi Chouji, Yamanaka Ino and Akimichi Chouji had left. 60-meter throw, Hinata Hyuga had lost precision. At the 70-meter throw, Aburam Shino, Inyazuka Kiba and Nara Shikamaru left. Only Naruto and Sasuke was left. The contest to see who had better accuracy. Clearly Iruka was shocked to see such great skill from Mir Academy students. He thought no one would make it past the 50-meter throw, but here they are at the next round, 80-meter throw with 2 students. Iruka SENSEI, how about we get on to the 100-meter throw? Naruto asked as Sasuke agreed. Are you sure? He said as he got 2 nods from both boys. Well then, last round, 100-meter throw. Aim precisely to the heart of the dummy, Mizuki announced. Are you both nuts? Kiba shouted as he saw both got ready to fire. Nah, I'm not, Naruto said as he threw his kunai to the dummy. The whole class fell silent. Even Iruka was amazed. With so much accuracy and power, Naruto's kunai had gone deep into the center of the dummy's heart, beating Sasuke's almost close throw. Kiba had gone from shouting to silent in the matter of seconds. Uzumaki, Naruto wins, Mizuki stuttered his whole way through the sentence. Oh yeah, I still have the skill. Naruto yipped in joy as Sasuke smirked at the dope. It was clear that the dope would win. Well, that was a good test, Sasuke thought. Classroom, in the final test we will test your ninjutsu and jinjutsu skills, Iruka said. We will be calling each of you individually. Proceed to the next room after you hear your name being called, he added. Good luck to all of you, Mizuki said as the 2 of them left. They started off in alphabetical order. Silently each one of them went in the room and returned with a victory smile on their faces. Shino, Shikamaru, Hinata and Sasuke got their forehead protectors, and now only Naruto was left. Uzumaki, Naruto stood up and ran to the next room with utter excitement. Ready? Naruto shouted as he got in the room, making Mizuki laugh. Well then, for the ninjutsu test we will have you perform the basic jutsu Bunshin no Jutsu. Iruka said. Could I perform another similar Bunshin no Jutsu? Naruto asked. If you could, then we will permit you to perform it, Iruka said with curiosity. Okay. Naruto said. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. Naruto shouted as a large cloud appeared revealing 20 of the perfectly made Kage Bunshins that Naruto made. Why you pass? Iruka stuttered wide-eyed at the perfectly executed Jounin rank technique. That was perfect, Naruto, Iruka said, waving of the shock. Now we will have you cancel out this Shinjutsu, Iruka said. Suddenly the room was put on fire. Everything was burning and there was no place to escape through. Naruto did not move a muscle. He closed his eyes and focused on trying to send a chakra pulse through the area, cancelling the technique. With a deep breath he sent through a chakra pulse all over the room. Iruka and Mizuki was amazed at the pulse that Naruto sent. A very strong chakra pulse, it cancelled the whole jutsu in a second. Great job, Naruto. You passed all the tests and now please come over here and get your forehead protector. You are now an official ninja of Konohagakure, Iruka said with a large smile. TCH. The brat passed that one, and here I thought that Jinjutsu was already strong enough that an academy brat couldn't have the courage to cancel it. Now I have to make a new plan, Mizuki thought. We're finally Genin, no more troublesome academy, Shikamaru said with a sigh. Hinata quickly put her Byakugan on to scare off Shikamaru. I thought you got rid of the troublesome word of yours, Hinata said with venom scaring the soul out of his body. A menace Hinata-san. Shikamaru bowed while Hinata turned her Byakugan off. It seems that old habits are hard to suppress. Though with a bit of control it could be fully controlled, Shino said as he got a sigh from poor Shikamaru. Hey guys, wanna go with me and Chaoji? We are going to eat yakiniku. Shikamaru said. I have something to talk to Jiji about. So see you later GUYS, Naruto shouted as he ran away. And no training today. He shouted last. What's with him? Sasuke asked as he joined the group. I don't know. Perhaps it has something to do with a mission of his. Shino said. Perhaps, Hinata whispered. Well, tomorrow we'll finally be placed in our teams. I hope we'll all be placed in one team. Sasuke said. The team consists of the Genins and one Jounin. So that means that we'll possibly separated, Shino said. With all this talking and standing I'm going hungry, Chaoji complained. Yakiniku. 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 He yipped in total excitedness while the others laughed. They then proceeded to the Barbec house. Hokage's tower. Have you made up your mind with the teams? Sarutobi asked, getting a nod from him. Are you sure about the teams that you put up? They seem fine, but I want to make sure that you and the others would be comfortable with one another. He explained. I know what you mean. Sasuke would really be pissed if he knew I was the one who arranged the teams. Naruto said as Sarutobi left a hearty laugh. Okay. Since this is over. I want to congratulate you, Naruto. Sarutobi smiled at the boy in front of him. Thanks, old man, he replied with his trademark foxy grin. I must be going on now. See you after the survival tests, Naruto said as he went away in thin air. I so have to learn that technique, Sarutobi whispered. Naruto was there in the Hokage mountain sitting on the fourth's head. He mumbled to himself, possibly talking to the late fourth. Seeing this perfect chance, the intruder threw 5 kunes at him. In the matter of seconds, Naruto had gone from sitting there to holding the 5 thrown kunes at hand. Naruto quickly ran toward mountain faces and leapt into the air. Airborne, he performed cage bunshin and made them fire kunes and shurikens at the unknown person. With having done that, the original Naruto escaped. A yell of frustration was heard. Seems like the assassination attempts still continue. Man, why are people so blind? TCH, someday everybody here will trust me. Just wait till I'm Hokage, then will I laugh at you people, Naruto thought as he floated gently on the air. Landing gracefully in front of the academy, he sat on the swing trying to catch his breath. He still was not perfect at trying to fly or at least stay in the air without crashing to the ground the next second. Mizuki suddenly got behind him. I know what you are. Monster, I know something that you could do to make everybody love you. Mizuki whispered to Naruto's ear. He was there crouched down near the swing whispering things to Naruto. What is this guy thinking? Might as well go with the flow. Let's see what this brainiac is up to. What could I do? Naruto asked in a low voice. There is nothing I could do to earn their trust, he added. You need to get the scroll inside the Hokage's mansion. Not just any scroll, I want you to get the scroll of seals. He said with a slight tone. If this will make them trust me, I guess I'm in. Naruto said with a smile. Mizuki stood up and smiled. Just remember. Don't tell anyone. I'll meet up with you later, he said as he puffed away. Gone. Looks like I'm gonna catch some action, Naruto shouted excitedly. He stood up and took off. Later at night. Man, I never thought that breaking in Jiji's house would be that easy, Naruto said out loud. In his hand was the scroll of seals. Well, I'm here and Mizuki is late. Might as well read this thing before I hand it back again, Naruto said with a sly foxy grin. It was full of kenjutsu, just like what Naruto expected. His eye was caught by a technique that he was familiar with. Dead demon consuming seal. Naruto's mind went black. He couldn't think about anything. This was the jutsu his father used to seal the Kyuubi in him, and this was the jutsu that killed him. Naruto cried. Anbis, Jounins, Chuninins, all of them were looking for Naruto. Emergency mission was sent to all of them. With the scroll of seals stolen and took away, Naruto had the possibility to accidentally release the Kyuubi onto the village. The Hokage knew Naruto wouldn't do that, but still the danger of having it stolen was alarming. Find Naruto now. That scroll holds danger. Bring him to me if he is caught, Sarutobi commanded them. Looks like I have to watch through my crystal ball. Sarutobi smirked at the thought. Naruto, Iruka shouted as he saw the boy sitting on the grass. Hi Iruka-sensei. Naruto shouted back. What are you doing? Iruka said. Naruto stood up. I'm trying to catch Mizuki. How about you? Naruto asked innocently. What? All the ninja was sent to find you. Do you know that the scroll you stole is very dangerous? Iruka shouted at him with a tick mark at his forehead. You kidding? Oh man, Naruto said. A barrage of kunes was thrown to their direction. In shock, Iruka couldn't react too quickly. He was hit with 3 kunes, 1 at his right shoulder and 2 at his left thigh. Who is that? Iruka shouted as he flinched in pain. Iruka-sensei. Naruto shouted as he ran to his side. Ha 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 ha. I didn't expect to see you here, Iruka. The man laughed as he stood at a branch of a nearby tree. Mizuki. You brainiac. You're just in time for your butt kicking. Naruto laughed. You? An academy student. Beat me? Tch right. Mizuki said. Both of you are going to die today, and I'll take the scroll with me, he said as he took a Fuma shuriken from his back. A monster such as you should die, Mizuki said. You're wrong. You're the monster. Naruto shouted back, enraged at what he was accused of. You're the monster, Naruto. You know why? Mizuki said. No, Mizuki. Iruka shouted as he took the last kunai of his body. Yes, I know why. I don't need you to remind me. Don't you dare call my Nichan a monster, because in reality you are the monster, Naruto shouted as his blue chakra started pouring out of him. Naruto, Iruka murmured. All this time you knew. I don't care of what you think of me. Because I know someday all of you are gonna respect me. Bow down to me when I become Hokage. Naruto yelled. Mizuki released the Fuma shuriken but aimed it on Iruka instead of Naruto. You die first. Then I'll kill this brat. He shouted with anger. No. Mizuki launched the Fuma shuriken at Iruka. The speed told that it would be far impossible to stop it. Then a miracle happened. The shuriken stopped in midair. A chakra string attached to it. You just made me pissed off. Prepare to face hell, Mizuki. Naruto shouted as he cut his right thumb and smeared blood onto the last seal of his left shoulder. Ju. In Naruto's hand was one of his top 10 puppets. The 10th to be exact. Naruto has always started from bottom to top, 10th to first. People like you, Mizuki, need to die. Naruto said as he readied Ju. Ju, the 10th of Naruto's strongest of shadows, was thinly and surprisingly white and not the usual tan. The only part big about Ju was that of his torso, which was used to trap the enemy nin or hold something inside its shell. He had short hair of black that was well trimmed and clean looking. Ju had no eyes and his nose and mouth was covered by a mask. In his palms were holes for senbons to be launched and his feet had knives for nails. A rain of sebons was launched. Ju was the above Mizuki torso opened, revealing a hollow space with sharp blades protruding its walls. Mizuki ran, afraid of the puppet that Naruto released. Ju landed on its arms and feet. Naruto twitched his finger. Ju ran after his opponent with his face mask uncovered, revealing his mouth open. Iruka-sensei. Get over here. Ju is about to launch the poison mist, Naruto shouted as Iruka ran to Naruto's side, covering his mouth. As said, Ju had breathed down hard and exhaled purple poison mist which covered a wide space. Mizuki was seen trying to escape the dangerous purple mist, landing to the ground pale and heaving. He crawled slowly, hoping to escape. But with karma on his side, Naruto had spotted him. You are going to pay, Mizuki. Taju Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. Naruto shouted, his voice echoing. Iruka's eyes widened as he saw the whole place covered in Naruto clones. We are going to be you to the next century. The Naruto clones yelled and charged at the same time. The powerful scream of torture was heard throughout the whole Konoha. Minutes later the clones vanished and Ju was safely tucked away. Mizuki was found on the floor half dead. "DCH serves you right, bastard," Naruto murmured. Naruto, that was amazing, Iruka said, congratulating the boy, getting a smile from him too. That was nothing, Iruka-sensei. That was a good practice. Naruto said. Maybe he could surpass the Hokages after all. But to think that that was only mere practice to him amazes me. Naruto, you have come a long way when you were gone, Iruka thought, looking at the blonde. How about we return to old man and give this scroll back to him? We could leave Mizuki here since the Anbu has arrived, Naruto said as he picked up the scroll of seals and walked back to the Hokage's mansion. The Anbu in the area was amazed by the boy. Not only did he do a kenjutsu in no sweat, he also managed to sense the presence of the Anbu. Just like sensei. One of the An thought. Here's the scroll, Jiji. Sorry to have made you worry. Naruto said while scratching the back of his head. It's alright, Naruto. Seeing that you defeated Mizuki, I want to thank you for doing a job well done. The Hokage said with a smile. I knew that I could count on you. He added. No problem, Jiji, Naruto said as he bowed down to him. Now have a good night's rest, for tomorrow will be a big day, he said. Birds were tweeting, the sun was rising, and people were starting to wake up except for Naruto. He had woken up earlier than anybody else. With all the excitement, he couldn't sleep straight that night. He knew that he needed to sleep, but it was like his soul couldn't just calm down and rest. So what he did was he just passed time by finding more jutsu scrolls in the library and at the same time he talked with Akako. "Naruto, do you think I could spend some more time here outside?" Akako asked. "Yeah, of course you could. Just make sure you don't make anybody suspicious," Naruto said with a foxy grin. "Okay. Thanks Itato," Akako said, returning the grin. "I need to go shopping. Buy some new clothes and shoes. This kimono is my favorite but it's getting old," Akako said as she giggled in total excitedness. She totally didn't act like the Kyuubi or anything. "I need some money, Naruto-chan. Do you think you could give me some?" Akako said, battling her eyelashes beautifully at her little brother, whose eyes were wide in realization. "For clothes?" Naruto asked in a serious tone. "Of course. What else?" "I'm also thinking of buying some weapons," and such Akako said with her arms crossed and her head facing the other direction. "Besides, don't you think that I would look more beautiful if I wear something else for a change? Come on, you are my little brother after all." She whined. "I guess you have a point. Fine. Here. Go buy some of your clothes and stuff, but make sure you don't do anything suspicious," Naruto said, giving her 100,000 yen. Akako was in girl heaven. "You are the best older, best brother, and best person in the whole world." Akako sang "I love you," she sang again and again as she twirled and pranced in happiness. "Totally not like the Kyuubi XD. Yeah, whatever." Naruto said, trying to block a major blush. "AW isn't that cute. You're blushing," she squealed as she pinched his cheeks. "You know what, Naruto? You haven't changed a bit since we first met. I have to get going now." "Bye Naruto," Akako said as she went out of the household. "I'll be back by this afternoon." "Ni-chan," Naruto said with a sigh. "I should take a bath and dress up or else I'll be late," Naruto said. Naruto took a bath and dressed up. In his all-black outfit Naruto looked different. He had his plain black shirt and black cargo pants with his pouches strapped to his waist. The only thing that was not black was his ninja shoes, which was blue. He thought about bringing his sword with him, but also thought that Sakura might yell at him again. Comfortable and ready, he left his household and headed to his way. Everybody was giddy. The whole classroom seemed to be jumping up and down because of all the excitement in it. This was the day that they would finally meet their team and their Jounin sensei. Naruto and Sasuke were sitting next together while Shino and Shikamaru were above them with Hinata. "I can't wait to know who my teammates would be," Sakura shouted as Ino and she giggled at the same time. "I think I made a wrong decision," Naruto murmured while Sasuke looked at him with curiosity. "Wrong decision?" Sasuke asked with an eyebrow raised. "Oh, nothing Sasuke, nothing," Naruto said as he looked at the Uchiha boy. "Naruto, why are you sitting there with Sasuke-kun?" Sakura shouted. "Because I sit here." Naruto replied with a smile as Shikamaru laughed. "What are you laughing at, Shikamaru?" Sakura shouted as she pointed her finger at him. "Nothing," Shikamaru replied with a smirk. "Naruto, stay away from Sasuke-kun." Ino shouted as she grabbed Naruto's hand and pulled him with force. Seeing this, Sakura quickly sat at the empty seat in the middle of Sasuke and Naruto. "Haha, I got the seat, Ino pig," Sakura sang. "No fair billboard." Ino screamed as she let go of Naruto. "Sakura. Ino. That's enough. This is the last day and I expect you two to be quiet." Haruka shouted a shout that made Ino and Sakura's shout look stupid. "Off, as all of you know, this day all of you will be put to your Genin squads. A squad is made up of 3 Genin and 1 Jounin," Haruka said as he held a piece of paper. "I will now announce the teams. Team 1. Haruka started on calling out each team. Team 7. Uchiha Sasuke Sakura Haruno Ino shouts and Uzumaki Naruto Sasuke banged his head to his table while Sakura giggled in happiness. "Why is she placed in with Sasuke-kun?" Ino shouted, standing up and fist on her table. "I am not responsible for the teams this year. Another person arranged it," Haruka said as he looked at Naruto, who just grinned. "If I find out who this person is, I'm gonna kick the soul out of his body." Ino screamed, totally enraged. Naruto sweat dropped at the comment. "Going on, teammate." Hinata Hyuga. Aburam Shino and Inuzuka Kiba howled when he heard his name. "Oh, I'm in a team with Hinata-chan." Kiba yipped in joy. "Watch a dog breath. If something happens to Hinata-chan, I might just feed your dog to the fox," Naruto said with a threatening glare. "TCH. Whatever. I know you don't have a pet fox." Kiba snorted. "We'll just see." Naruto chuckled. "There won't be a team 9, so moving on. Team 10. Nara Shikamaru. Yamanaka Ino and Akamichi Chouji." Sakura laughed at Ino. "Oh, poor Ino pig. Stuck with a lazy and fat GUI," Sakura teased. Chouji glared at her darkly. "I swear I am going to kill the person who arranged the team." Ino screamed. "That's enough." Haruka shouted to the top of his lungs. "You'll be meeting your Jounin leaders after this." Haruka said as he started on announcing the Jounin leaders. Team 7. Hada Kakashi, Teammate Yuhi Kurenai and Team 10. Saratobi Asuma. He said, "Well then, please wait here for your Jounin senseis to pick you up. Goodbye and good luck, class," Haruka added as he smiled at the whole class before leaving and letting the Jounin senseis in. After 3 hours of waiting, all the teams had gone out with their Jounin leaders. Only one team remains, Team 7. Naruto and Sasuke were sitting at both ends of the rows, and Sakura was a seat away from Sasuke. "Where is our Jounin-sensei?" Sakura whined. "Just be quiet and patient. He'll arrive," Naruto said as he was doing something. Getting some clay from his pouch, he quickly put down the Jinjutsu on his palms, revealing two small mouths. Feeding a bit of clay, the two mouths chewed slowly. He quickly put his hands in his pockets. Sasuke and Sakura stared at the nervous-looking Naruto. "What you hiding, Naruto?" Sakura cocked her head to the side. Nothing," Naruto said as he dug his hands deeper into the pockets. "DCH. Yeah right," Sasuke said as he glared at the yellow-haired boy. "Whatever." Naruto glared right back. After a minute the yellow-haired boy shouted in excitement. Sasuke and Sakura looked at him like crazy. In his hands were tiny white spiders. Sakura screamed in terror as she saw them crawling and alive. Naruto noticed this and put the Jinjutsu back on. Sasuke stood up and walked to Naruto's place. Sakura followed behind him, trying to hide behind his back. "Yuck. Those things are alive." Sakura shouted at Naruto that hid behind Sasuke's back again. The Uchiha boy eye twitching all the way. "What's that dope?" Sasuke asked with an eyebrow raised. "Spiders. What else?" Naruto replied to the Uchiha boy. "I know that those are spiders. Why are they colored white? Where did you get them?" Sasuke pushed more force in the question, hoping to get a straight answer from the blonde. "'Cause they are mine, I got them from a scroll." Naruto answered in a not-so-sure tone. "Yay. Right, whatever," Sasuke said. He then tried to grab one of the tiny spiders and received a very loud shout from Naruto. "No don't. Those are dangerous." Naruto shouted as he threw all the spiders on the ground before Sasuke could grab one. Sasuke and Sakura was shocked. The place went quiet and the ear-splitting scream was heard. "Ahhh, they are on the ground. They are on the ground. Help. Help. Help." Sakura shouted all the way. Panicking, she grabbed one of the chairs and stood on it. "Why did you do that, dope?" Sasuke asked, trying to hide his shock. "Because that was what I was going to do in the first place," Naruto grinned. The spiders crawled to the door of the classroom. They crawled up the door and framed it all around. All spiders then stopped altogether. The door looked like as if it was framed with white tiny spiders. Sakura saw this and slowly went down the chair. "Why are they doing that?" Sasuke asked, looking at the grinning boy. "Just wait till the teacher comes," Naruto said as he laid back his chair with a full grin plastered in his foxy face. "Naruto, you are such a dope. When the Jounin-sensei comes." Sakura was cut off when a popping firecracker-like noise boomed in the building. One by one, in a fast motion, the white spiders exploded with the force of a small firecracker. The Jounin-sensei was in the middle of the explosion. After a minute of calming down, a loud laugh was erupted. Naruto was laughing his head off. Sasuke and Sakura was still shocked, their eyes as wide as plates. Sasuke then shaked his head trying to get out of the shock, Sakura following her crushed the whole way. The Jounin-sensei was still there at the exact place where the prank had happened. "My first impression on all of you is that I hate you," he said as his only visible eye glared at all of them. "That was Naruto's fault." Sakura shouted. "I don't care. I will meet all of you on the roof there," Sensei replied. He was gone in a poof of smoke. "Will you heard what he said?" Naruto said as he disappeared in thin air. "What the?" Sasuke murmured under his breath. Not minding, he quickly went upstairs. Sakura, like as always, followed her crush. Rooftop. The gray-haired Jounin was there sitting on the ledge and in his hands was a small orange book. After a few seconds Naruto appeared out of nowhere. The Jounin was surprised. Weird transportation technique. Appearing out of thin air. Well, that's new, he thought. I'm impressed. I didn't know that fresh out academy students would know how to do a transportation technique. He said out loud. Naruto looked at him with a glare. Don't you dare compare what I did to that of a transportation technique. Naruto said angrily. The place went quiet as the two shot back glares at each other. Hey. I know that book. That's the one that white-haired pervert writes. Naruto said but quickly shut his mouth as he realized what he had said. The Jounin sensei was shocked. Oh damn that pervert. TCH one by one my secrets come out with this pace, my secrets will be out on no time. Naruto shouted in his mind. So he knows of Jiraiya-sama. Not so surprising to know, but still to think he had met the Sannin. Sandaime-sama is right, Naruto really has a lot of secrets, but this is still the tip of the iceberg, the Jounin thought. As the two of them were thinking, Sasuke and Sakura have arrived and was currently looking back and forth at the two. Finally, I thought you two would never arrive, Naruto shouted as he snapped out of his trance. Sasuke and Sakura sat down beside Naruto. So looks like all of you are here. Let's begin with the introductions. State your name, hobbies, likes, dislikes, dreams and jutsus, he said. I'll begin. My name is Hada Kakashi, my hobby is reading, I won't say what I like and dislike. My dream is none of your business. The three Genin sweat dropped at the introduction. Uchiha boy first, he said. I am Uchiha Sasuke. My hobby is training, I like to train. I dislike annoying fangirls and blonde freaks. I dream to revive the Uchiha clan and restart the military police, and I know how to use Katen. Hasenka no Jutsu and Katen. Kakaku no Jutsu Sasuke said, finishing his introduction with a sigh. Looks like he grew faster than the other of his age, Kakashi thought. Blonde freak. Oh, he is so gonna get it later at training. Naruto thought as he glared at the Uchiha. The Isotalented Sakura thought while giggling inside. Blonde freak next, Kakashi said while Naruto grunted. My name is Namikaze Uzumaki Naruto. My hobbies are training and making up new jutsu or improvising my old ones. My likes are ramen, finding new jutsu scrolls, and such. I dislike snakes, bad guys, people who have inflated heads and waiting. My dream is to be the strongest ninja in the world and to become the greatest Hokage to be ever seen, Naruto said with a grin. I won't tell you one jutsu, Naruto smirked. Looks like he has a lot to keep from us. So he has known the truth about his heritage. Well, isn't that nice? He also have started on using Namikaze as his last name, Kakashi thought. That dope and his mysteries. He just keeps on getting more mysterious and mysterious. Namikaze. Isn't that an extinct clan? Sasuke thought as he recalled the meeting at Kako. Namikaze? No way. That blonde and his stupid jokes, everybody knows that the fourth was the last Namikaze. Even though Sasuke is way much cooler than that dumb blonde. Okay, Pinky Unext, he said, getting a shout from Sakura. My name is not Pinky. I am Haruno Sakura, and you may only call me Sakura, nothing else, she shouted, and then breathed in deep to calm down a bit. My hobby is to glance at Sasuke. I like to glance, and I dislike dumb blonde shoots glares at Naruto. My dream is to glance, and I mastered all the basic techniques down to the root, Sakura said, and then stole a final glance at Sasuke. Translation. My hobby is to glance at Sasuke. I like to glance at him, and I dislike myself. My dream is to continue on glancing at Sasuke for my whole life. I only know the basic jutsus, Naruto said, copying Sakura's voice all the way. Sasuke and Kakashi had a hard time holding back their laughter, while Sakura screamed in frustration. Sakura stood in front of Naruto, this made him shut up. She then shouted, you are the most annoying person I have ever met. I wish you hadn't come and joined us in the academy. UGHHH. With it she stomped back to her place and sat again. I will stop if you stop being such a fangirl, Naruto teased while Sakura just got annoyed more. Okay, now that is settled. Tomorrow you and your batchmates will take your Genin exams. In my record I have never passed a Genin team in my whole career. I will meet you at the training grounds tomorrow at sunrise. Kakashi said in a serious tone. And just a tip. Don't eat tomorrow morning or you'll barf, he said, then poofed out. Well, that was boring, Naruto said as he looked at both Sasuke and Sakura. I agree, he didn't tell us anything, only his stupid name, Sakura said, getting a nod from Sasuke and Naruto. Now that we three are a team, how about we eat lunch together? Naruto asked, surprising Sasuke and Sakura. I was just about to say that, Sakura whispered. TCH. Fine. Sasuke said, getting a squeal from Sakura. Naruto's sweat dropped at the pink-haired girl. Ramen, Naruto cheered as he bounced up and down. This time Sasuke and Sakura sweat dropped. The three sat down in the Ichiraku stall. Naruto had ordered 2 large miso, while Sasuke and Sakura ordered only 1 large miso. They were currently waiting for the food when Naruto struck a conversation. I guess we'll be doing mission together. Naruto said as both Sakura and Sasuke looked at him. Yeah, we will if we pass that stupid test of Kakashi-sensei. Sakura said, getting a nod from Sasuke. I want to pass the test together. But Sakura, I was serious a while ago when I said that you should quit being a fangirl. Naruto said. Sakura was about to say something, but decided to shut her mouth. I agree with him, Sakura. You now have to be more serious about your training. Soon enough we'll have to face tough opponents. Both us of Naruto won't be able to protect you while fighting, Sasuke said, getting a gasp from Sakura. You see, Circa care about me, Sasuke-kun. Sakura stuttered. I care for you as a fellow ninja, Sasuke said in a serious tone. Yeah, Sakura, I agree with team. We couldn't always look out for you at the same time fight the enemy ninja, Naruto said. I will think about it, Sakura said, getting a huge grin from Naruto. If you'd like some help with training, I'm always free to help you. Naruto said. Yeah, right, like I need help from an idiot like you, Sakura said, getting a smirk from Sasuke. Rather than helping her dope, how about you start with yourself first? Sasuke joked around, getting a loud laugh from Sakura and an annoyed glare from Naruto. After talking about other things, the trio ate their ramen in silence, then went to their separate ways. With the Kako had strolled around the whole time. She had brought a red umbrella earlier and used it as she walked around town. She hadn't started on shopping yet, she was still familiarizing the place. As she was walking, the people on the street stopped from their doings and looked at her with curious eyes. This made Akako nervous and decided to also stop walking. She looked at herself, was there something wrong with her outfit? Did she have something on her face? The village people started to whisper around. Wow, isn't that lady pretty? A village women whispered. What unusual eyes. Such powerful color, an old man murmured to himself. She looks like a goddess, and her eyes are like ruby gems, a man whispered to his group, getting nods of agreement. Well, now the people seem to not notice that I am the Kyuubi. This village seems to be shallow in thinking. I have to take advantage of this, as Akako thought, smiling inside. What a wonderful day, Akako sang and then smiled at the village people. She proceeded to walk, all the eyes still laid on her, mesmerized. Walking on the streets, Akako had gotten praises from village folks everywhere. One male even gave her a red rose, saying it would fit her beauty greatly. She held it gently on her other hand, smelling its fragrance. She then decided to start on buying her clothes. She totally needed a new kimono, and she also needed a new ninja outfit. But first she wanted to find her a new set of outfit. She liked the way her brother changed outfits every day, but she didn't like how he dressed in whole black outfits. Naruto stopped on wearing orange a long time ago. She went in the first shop she saw. It was full of ninja outfits. She had come to the right place. A man was there, found behind the counter. "Good day, lady." The man greeted, then came to her help. He was only 5 feet tall. He looked old, and the thin appearance didn't help his look, nor did his pale skin. He wore a sleeveless dark brown shirt which matched his hair. Black pants and ninja sandals to match with everything. My, what could I get for you?" The man smiled. "Do you by any chance make ninja outfits here?" Akako asked. "Oh yes, we make all kinds of outfits. Ninjas usually want to specify what their clothes look like," the man said, getting a nod from Akako. "I would want to make a specific cloak. It would be kind of hard, will it be okay?" Akako asked, getting a very loud laugh from the pale man. "You surely are a new customer. By the way you wear, I am sure you are making this for the one you love." "You don't look like a ninja," the man said in a happy tone. "I can make any outfit you wish. I am known to be the best tailor here in Konoha." "Oh yes. My brother has a favorite cloak, but he cannot simply wear it. I would want to make this cloak for him," Akako said, smiling at the man. "Well, I'm sure that you could make this cloak for me," she added. She gave the man the description of the cloak. She also specified the cloth used for it. The man was amazed at the cloak that she wanted to make. Although he thought that it would be fairly challenging, he was wrong, very wrong. This one would be a beauty to see. He was only intrigued when she said that she wanted an embroidered blue Kyuubi on the cloak. Kyuubi? If he was thinking right, was the brother she was talking about Uzumaki Naruto? The Kyuubi container? This lady was very intriguing. By the time she had come in the store, he thought that she had come to the wrong store. Naruto Uzumaki had no parents nor siblings, everybody knew that. But this woman had openly said that it was for her brother. After discussing some things, Akako had been told to get it after 3 days, and the payment would be made on the same day. The cloak didn't spend all her money up, this made her happy. She proceeded to other stores that had kimonos on sale. As she walked to the other store, she immediately caught the murmurs of the village folks. Scowling, she stopped at the talks that various people were having. "Hey, did you know that old Namika's household? It was seen alight the other night. Weird, isn't it?" 2 women murmured to each other. "The blue ghost was seen in the village. Man, those ninjas slack off their jobs too much, even wanted nins can get in without any difficulty," a man said. "They said the blue ghost gave up in front of the Hokage and begged for mercy," a woman exclaimed. "Some ninjas say that the Hokage and the blue ghost has secret connections. These filthy humans, they don't know who they are talking about. They are lucky my precious Itato loves this village," Akako thought as she drew a deep breath and exhaled. She wouldn't want to go berserk in the middle of the day in a crowded place. She continued on walking, hurriedly walking in the first store she saw. She was then barraged in the sweet scent of vanilla. As she looked around, she noticed that she had come in the jackpot. On the walls of the store were kimonos, all in different colors and different patterns. 2 middle-aged women dressed in full kimonos and wooden sandals. Both of them had long black silky hair. "Good afternoon, laddie. I haven't seen you before. Are you a tourist?" "Oh no. I just arrived here with my younger brother. We are now living here and I thought that I needed some new kimonos," Akako said, getting a giggle from the women. "I see. That kimono you wear is such a beauty. My name is Emi and here at my right is Iri. We are the owners of this shop," Emi said. Emi wore a pure white yukata that had a black obi to match with it. In front, a yin and yang sign was seen. Iri wore the opposite color of her sister. A black yukata with a white obi to match, and also in front was the yin and yang sign. "Oh, thank you very much. This old kimono of mine is my very favorite. My name is Akako. Nice to meet you both. If you mind me asking, are you 2 twins?" Akako said, getting a smile from both females. "My Akako-san, you are such a keen observer." "Yes, we are, but we are not identical. In fact, people don't believe we are truly twins," Iri said as Emi giggled. "What can we get for you, Akako-san?" Emi asked while Akako looked around. "I am planning to buy a battle kimono since my old one looks a bit ancient. And 2 yukatas." Emi and Iri nodded. "What color or design would you like, Akako-san?" Iri asked. "I would like a red and an orange yukata." The battle kimono would be lovely in black. Akako grinned. We have a very beautiful black battle kimono. Just wait a second, Akako-san, Emi said as she and her sister to get what Akako requested. Akako sat down on a seat and waited for the two to return. After a few minutes Emi and Eri returned and in hand were 3 large boxes. We found our most high quality and beautiful kimono. And we also found an orange and red yukata of your size. Eri said as Emi put the 3 boxes down and opened them. The first box at the right held the onyx black battle kimono, while the one in the middle held the bright orange yukata, and at the last was the ruby red kimono she ordered. All of these are still plain and still holds no particular design. If you would like we could add your choice of design to it. But that would cost extra payment. Emi said while Eri nodded. Oh, that would be lovely. I would like to add some designs to all of the 3. When can I get the kimonos? Akako asked. You can get them tomorrow afternoon. Your payment can also be made tomorrow, Akako-san. Eri smiled. After talking to the twins, Akako left and said goodbye to the two. Walking back home, Akako was still being stared and looked at. She needed to hurry and get out of this terrible crowd before rumors got out. Namika's household evening. Naruto had come much earlier than Akako. He spent time in the library reading jutsu scrolls and in the training grounds practicing his elemental jutsus. Akako had come just in time to see him try a Futon technique on the house. The mansion shook on impact. Itaudo, you shouldn't try to destroy this house. Akako lectured him. Don't worry, Ni-chan, I placed a special seal on the house. I found it earlier at the library. Naruto grinned. And what seal are you talking about? Akako said. It's called Restoration Seal. If you place it on the house it would never be destroyed. I thought that the house had one before, but it seems that it wasn't placed with one, that's why I decided to put one and test it, Naruto said, rubbing the back of his head with his hand, while Akako giggled. Silly kid. If that is what you think is right then so be it. Akako and Naruto grinned to each other. So how was your day? Did anybody suspect you? Naruto asked while Akako stopped from her doings. Rumors are going around. Some people already know that someone is living in this household, but they don't know who. There are also rumors about the blue ghost being in this village and having connections to the Hokage. Luckily people here are shallow-minded and they didn't even suspect a thing. My kimonos will be ready tomorrow. And don't worry, not all of your money was spent away. I still have extra, Akako said. Rumors, huh? Well, let's just hope that my tongue won't slip again. Naruto said while Akako chuckled. Yeah, like that's possible. You are probably the noisiest ninja I know. Akako teased while Naruto just fed away.